The Buffalo Sabres get one back in Montreal, and now the series is tied at 2-2, and for all intents and purposes, it turned into a best-of-3 series, with Buffalo having home ice advantage. Game 5 is tomorrow night in Buffalo at 7. Paul Hamilton has more on yesterday's win up at our website, WGR550.com, and do stay tuned. We'll hear from Paul in just about an hour at 4 p.m. Just one game tonight. It is out west. Colorado hosts Minnesota, Game 5 in that series. The Avs, though, can advance tonight to the Western Conference Finals with a win. And then some other notes in the NHL. The Maple Leafs are in search of a head coach, as the team announced today the firing of Craig Berube after 2 seasons on the job. And then Matthew Schaefer of the Islanders was awarded this year's Calder Trophy and was done so unanimously. In the NFL, schedule release day is tomorrow, but this morning we did get the rest of the international games. Patriots at Lions in Munich, Germany in Week 10. Colts versus Commanders in London, Week 4. Saints taking on the Steelers in Paris, Week 7. And then Vikings there in Mexico City versus San Francisco for Sunday Night Football in Week 11. There are now a total of 9 international games. And then just a few minutes ago, we got the first ever Thanksgiving Eve game. That is the Packers at the Rams, and it will be on Netflix. Then in baseball, Bison's in action tonight. They host the Woo Sox just after 6. And in the majors, some early afternoon action. The Yankees do trail Baltimore 5-0 in the 6th. The Jays have Tampa in town at 7:07, and at 7:10, the Mets, they host Detroit. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Here's Doan on the right side. One man ahead of him. Trailer Valeno plays it to the far circle. Back across, scores! What a feed across! And it's Matthias Samuelsson that gets Buffalo on the board first. Slavkovsky, far circle, one-timer, Luukkonen again! He knows it's coming, and he got there just in time. What a great save by Luukkonen.
Right now, let's just try to win one more game. We win one more game, and then pressure and momentum shift again. We go back to our building. We know how important this next game is.
Bottom of the circle. Here's a play in front. Backhand scores. Great feed for Benson in front. And Zach Benson gets the goal to put the Buffalo Sabres on top 3-2 on the power play.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog on WGR Sports Radio 550.
Who has more fun than people? Are you one of these people that says dogs to that question? Do you just like dogs? Do you think dogs have more fun than people? I refuse to believe that. I don't think dogs really... I'm not sure they're ever having any fun. They're just sort of being. We know the difference. We know pain. We know despair.
This is a think piece for me.
We know sadness.
I really need to sit with this. I don't want to give you just a quick answer.
What is dog sadness? Like not getting thrown a piece of meat?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, I think. Yeah, not being able to bark at squirrels. I think it's dog sadness.
My son was homesick today. We went to the doctor. We're on our way home, stopped at a barbecue place that we love on the island, and sat down to eat. And there's Margot every single time, right? Just sitting there next to me, like, aren't you going to help me? Give me something? And so this time I don't, because I think I'm just making it worse. I don't eat anymore, because the dog is like all over me. Mm-hmm. So I literally I will literally take food to the basement
in an effort
to avoid
her. Yeah.
So that I can eat without feeling guilty. It's bad. This is really bad for me. So I this time decide I'm not giving her anything. I put the food that's left, the leftovers, on the kitchen counter to put away. I'll save the rest for tonight and go to the bathroom, come back, and she has left me a present right next to where I was sitting.
Oh, what a protest.
And she had just been outside.
What a move. Yeah, wow, that's tough. That is tough.
Anyway, where were we?
I can't believe they won that game.
So I asked my wife if she thought the Sabres were lucky to win, and she said she didn't want to say yes. Do you want to say they were?
I mean, you get the goal to tie it. I mean, that's incredible good fortune. But no, I mean, that play was lucky. I just mean the way it's all encapsulating. No, I do not think they were lucky. I mean, that was a lucky goal, and without it, I mean, I don't know. I mostly can't believe they stabilized after the second period. I thought they were just so coming undone with the penalties. And it was all the main guys, like Thompson and Dahlin twice and Zucker and
Byram
and
with the high sticks.
Just what is happening? They're not going to survive a third period if they keep doing this. Like, that's all, And so the other side of that coin is during the second intermission, I'm saying, like, okay, kill a penalty because we got like 2:20 left on the Byram double minor. Kill this and then just play a good third period. And they did that. And I've watched this team all year, but the way the game had been going for 40 minutes with the penalties, I just thought I thought they couldn't keep up. And they're just going to keep taking penalties. I was really, for the first time in the playoffs, really legitimately worried about whether they would have an answer. And yet again, they did. They killed that penalty off and completely stabilized. Did they not take another penalty the rest of the third period? I think they were even strength the rest of the way.
Well, they got the power play on which they scored.
Right.
And then I think maybe, yes.
I don't think they played shorthanded the rest of the way. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Just the empty net.
And so, right. So that turned it around for them. They mostly locked the game down.
We've seen that before.
Yeah, that's not a surprise, but coming on the heels of all the undisciplined stuff, I just thought I was really worried. Like, I got like Byram. I had a buddy of mine that's been texting me about Byram since like game 2 of this series. Like, watch him. Watch him.
Bad?
Bad. Watch him closely.
That could be me.
I think he's tired, and he's standing still a lot. And, game 1 they won. Game 2 I was at. You know how that is. Like, as far as watching goes, like for that sort of observation, I did not spend my night watching Byram, right? Game 3 I was at a a big gathering. Again, a lot of socializing. I wasn't like focusing on individual guys. Man, last night, every time I felt like I looked at him, he was standing still.
Somebody put it in your head.
Just wait, yeah. Just like waiting for where's the play. There was a shift. I can't remember. I know they were going left or right, but I honestly do not remember if it was the first or the third period where Power throws it like from one corner to the other behind the net for Byram basically to go chase down. And I swear to you, in this moment, his body language was like, way over there. And he went, and then a few seconds after that, like he didn't do anything good with it. A few seconds after that, he had it like midway up the wall and threw it back into traffic. And I was like, he is shot right now. What is he doing? He's like willfully throwing the puck back into a schmozzle because he can't think of a better thing to do. I don't know. Anyway, and I saw like he was one of the worst players on the ice last night in any game. So
the point is made.
I'm a little. So anyway, I was worried about all of that. Are there more guys? Are these penalties a symptom of they are starting to like teeter on the brink of being on E here, or maybe flat out on E?
Well, isn't to sort of play a little bit of devil's advocate in a positive way, if you can do that, isn't it even a better sign that didn't happen?
Yes.
Given what the first 40 minutes
That's
were?
why I started, the way I started with I can't believe they won that game is because all that was mounting evidence to me that they might be in real trouble. And then they just came out and played pretty much a perfect third period and won the game.
I don't think I need you on this, but I would love to hear anybody else. There's one caller we get that might be the one. Hopefully it's someone else. I like this caller, but hopefully it's someone else. Power was man of the match. That guy. I mean, Benson. It's time to accept Benson as our horse.
Right.
I just like, I don't want to even disparage Thompson. I mean, Thompson gets that goal, say what you will, and like he's important. But Benson is like, he's the guy you need, right?
Yes.
In fantasy, we have who's the guy you needed to draft to have a chance to win. Benson is the guy you need to win this series. Doan is right adjacent to Benson. Mm-hmm. Power was man of the match. Power played 29 shifts. Didn't quite lead them in minutes because of Samuelson, who also had a bounce-back game, Samuelson.
Yeah.
Scoring helps.
Scoring helps, but he blocked a ton of shots and killed a ton of plays. I mean, the penalty kill was their secret sauce last night. They could have been absolutely buried with all those penalties that I'm referring to, but the good news is they only gave up the one.
But can somebody in this fan base acknowledge Owen Power?
Yeah,
in a positive way, please, ever?
No.
Not gonna happen?
You can. I've tried. We've tried. And yes, I think there are definitely big factions of the fan base that recognizes and appreciates him. But, we live in a time. I think a lot of hockey towns are like this. He's not mean enough, and like that, so he doesn't get credit for any of the good, skillful stuff he does, which is a lot. It's really his entire game.
Well, if he were 6 inches shorter and had the name Schopp instead of Power, he would get credit.
I think that's probably right.
But he doesn't, and therefore he's supposed to be. I mean, just like, can somebody give him credit? That doesn't need to happen. They're fine. They're hopefully not listening to the noise. Last night's great. Everything you said, like, it's another paintball to the face of the whole momentum stuff. Here's Lindy Ruff talking about it. They don't know what else to say. Like, where was the momentum again? Tell me who had the momentum going into this game and halfway through this game and then into the third period. Can you just explain? Can anybody explain that? No. Why not? Because it's meaningless. And what you need is what? You need some reliable structure. You need a pretty decent level of goaltending. And then you need, and Ruff has said this too probably 1,000 times, you need to be opportunistic. And there's Benson. Thompson whiffs on the pass. He wants to shoot there, but he literally whiffs on it.
He almost gave it away again.
He didn't fall this time.
Unchallenged.
But he just whiffs on it. Has enough space where he can get it back down low to Doan, and then look at Benson in that 1 second in front of the net, surrounded by Montreal. Surrounded. Skate, backhand, roof.
Right.
Oh, easy game. That guy. The legend just continues to grow.
Sure. Compounded by the footage of him singing "Don't Stop Believing."
Sure,
before a face-off. That was while they were
amazing.
Protecting the lead. Like, he's just out there, like, he's mouthing the words, and someone comes up to him and says something like, "Oh, yeah, what are we doing?" I mean, he's just, it's off the charts. This guy.
It is kind of that. Like this will all end at some point. And then will be time for perspective, like we have about the playoffs 20 years ago. Like just what we remember and how it went and who was good and who wasn't as good. This guy is carving a legend out here increasingly by each game. Like they were all over him in game one. He was a story going into this series. And then he makes the play immediately, first goal, boom. Benson. Oh, well, let's talk about him in game two. The Sabres are inept in game two, except for Benson, who makes
an incredible
play of the series.
Right.
And then here's game three, and he's on the board again, isn't he? In game three, I think he had at least a point. I don't know. It's a blur. And then last night, you get the winner. Which, by the way, thank you for having that be the last goal of the game. I just want to say that once.
Yeah, it worked out well for you. Yes,
and the whole thesis of that play was he would score an empty net goal. When he scores at 4 minutes, like, no way that's going to hold up.
Right. And it did.
And it somehow did.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to love it.
Yep.
This is back to, this is 2006, where today I was just thinking about talking to you and having this, this great privilege and thinking like, man, I wish we had a week to just
to go through all of the
right
stuff
here
that happened, right?
And not rush into the next one.
Right, because you've got the goalie switch that
let's do that.
That paid off. You've got Helenus going in, and I mean he should have scored twice. I mean credit to Dobish, but I mean that just tremendous.
You can't blame him for either shot.
No.
And the passes are great from
right.
Zucker.
Passes were very good. I think the second one was better than the first, but still.
Me too.
And the first one he sort of put toward the middle of the net, which is a favor to the guy coming from one side to the other. So, that was not as the second shot hit the post. So, I mean, he was so close on the second one. But really, his whole game is the point. The fact, yes, he had those open looks and, a 4-2 game there at any one of those moments would have been great. But he played great start to finish, and he's out there pretty late. I don't remember if it was a minute and a half or two. I just know it was like I'd already tweeted garage, okay, and they're hanging on, trying to get this thing home, and here's 20-year-old Helenius on the ice, which is a great sign. Lindy has done this sort of thing throughout his career. He doesn't do it all the time. There's guys he just never will trust. And here is Helenius' first playoff game ever, and go ahead, you go play. I trust you.
Well, this is another one where I could use a week to just reflect on that.
Yeah.
I mean, mea culpa to Lindy from me, because I just didn't think he would do it with Helenius. I just didn't think he would do it because he loves his veterans, right, and experience. And I'll never forget him benching Vanek in the Carolina series, which was so tight. Like, you know what? You need a goal, right? Like, here's a guy who can just make a goal.
Yeah.
He was a rookie, and there were reasons not to do that. But I just didn't expect Ruff to get to Helenius, and I just love that he did. I wanted it, and he was rewarded. I mean, to put it mildly, he was rewarded. And also, and this I would have expected from Ruff, because I think he's shown this, if he's going to dress him, he's not going to hide him.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what a sign to have him out there at 3-2 inside like the last 2.5, 3 minutes of the game, whatever it is, maybe even later than that. Like, that's this guy's not coming out territory is what that is. Like, that is, I trust you to do. If you trust him to do that, you trust him to do anything.
He's not coming out tomorrow
in the playoffs. I mean, you're not.
Right?
No, absolutely not.
Is Shen coming out tomorrow?
I don't know.
They won.
they won.
7 minutes of what? I don't know what that was, but
right. I mean,
what do you want to do there?
The penalty kill was good, and he largely was on that, right? Of his 7 minutes, like 3 of them penalty kill.
There were a couple scary moments. But
so I mean,
they don't. I bet they don't think they have a better idea.
I think you might be right.
That's kind of what got us to him playing last night. I think they think now he's their best idea. And why would that not be the same thing going into Game 5?
Right.
Luukkonen, I mean, I was worried about today at the end of the first period.
Oh, gosh, yes.
The 2-1 goal.
The 2-1 goal
was the Swayman-Thompson goal.
It's everything we talked about yesterday with him. That whole sequence, he's off. He's late the whole time, to the extent that and I've said this many times about not just him, but any goalie, but certainly he's prone to it. The space that is created there is because he rams himself into the post so hard, because he's sliding over so fast, because he's behind. So if he is sound and has his left pad on the ice, there's no goal there. But he is off balance. He hits the post, leans into the post, his left leg comes up, puck goes right under the left pad. And I'm just like, this is exactly what we're talking about. But then, right, what's the other piece of his intriguing equation? His athleticism and his size afford you a certain amount of spectacular. And the 2 one-timer stops on Caulfield, I'm not here to tell you Lyon can't make that save. He's made that save. But it's definitely easier if you need every inch of your 6'5" body to get your left skate or pad on that shot. It's a good thing you're 6'5", and he got there. The one was up higher, the other one was down low, and
it was tipped.
He did the splits to get there.
Right, there was one that was tipped into him.
Maybe that's the first one.
And he gets his skate to the post for that save.
Okay.
Unless there's another. There were lots of these.
Yeah, but like those two, the 2 on Caulfield in the second period to me were like the end of the first period is absolutely why you get leery of him. But then in the second period, those Caulfield one-timers are why you want to put him back in, because those were tremendous saves.
Well, he plays tomorrow, right? How could he not?
Probably. I don't know. You know how he could not? The morning show was talking about this. Brian Mazurowski from News Radio 930 pointed out to the guys this morning, I heard Jeremy talking about this at one point, that each of the wins so far for the Sabres in the playoffs have come with the goalie having more than 1 day off in between. Lyon wins game 1, day off. Game 2, No, excuse me. Luukkonen wins game 1. Sorry.
We're going back
to Boston. Luukkonen wins game 1. Game 2 is a day late. Like, there's a day in between. Game 2, he gets pulled. They lose.
That's
Couple
2
of
days.
2 days, Lyon plays. 2 days off after that.
No. 1. Friday, Sunday.
No, it's Thursday.
Then that's 1. Okay, Thursday, Sunday.
So Tuesday, he goes in and plays in the third period in game 2, but like he didn't play the whole game.
Right. Okay.
So there's only a day off there, but that's a little blip there. But he hadn't really, he played 14 minutes.
Thursday.
Yeah.
You're right.
So Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday,
They lost.
Right? Only one day they lost.
Then Friday.
And then Friday, 2 days off, he wins. Time off again. Game 1 against Montreal, they win. 1 day off. He loses. Luukkonen eventually goes in. Like,
it's interesting. Are we doing that? Are we going by that?
I don't know. I'm just saying it's not a very big sample size. It's 10 games that we've got to work with. But in those 10 games, every time they've won, the goalie had extra rest.
That's right.
So you don't have any extra days the rest of the series. You haven't had them this whole series.
I thought Lyon was great in Game 5 against Boston, but they lost 2-1
right
in overtime.
So I don't know that they were talking about that this morning, and that gave me some pause. Yeah. Like, is this an opportunity to someone in a meeting today amongst the coaches make that point? And do they sit there and ponder, like, all right, maybe we should just go back to alternating?
Do they, in the meeting, said meeting, mention that they heard it from Brian?
I don't know.
Yeah, guys, just like I'm hearing about it right now.
Right. I wonder, but again, it's such a, it's only 10 games.
They should.
But
they should source it.
I'm intrigued by that. I think I want to give it like a 10% chance.
Listen, I mean, that's interesting. It's got to be pretty rare for a team to get to this point with 2 goalies. I mean, what? They've played 10 games.
Right.
Luukkonen has started 3. Lyon has started 7 in the middle. It's got to be pretty rare to get here using 2 goalies without ever pulling one in a game. Like, they haven't.
Well, they did pull Luukkonen in game 2.
That's right. Okay.
With the Boston series.
Okay, never mind. I'm new here. That's right. It happened once.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it. We were talking about it yesterday. Like, it didn't happen in games 2 or 3 of this series when it could have.
Right.
But the game stayed close enough.
That's right.
And that game got to 4-0 in game 2 against Boston, and they did it. That's right. All right. I don't feel like I watched last night's game. I tried to watch it while doing ADP chasing, and as usual in my life, I'm late. Like, I'm a minute and a half behind the play, and I've got Sanderson last night telling me Montreal scores 2-1. The Thompson goal, Schopp, 2-2. Like, I just, as soon as he reacted both times, I'm just over here looking at my phone, and it's like 2 minutes later when I get it. So I don't think I was really that, I mean, maybe I shouldn't admit this, but that I was really like all in until the start of the third. And then, I mean, I was in love.
Yeah, so you maybe didn't realize how exhausting the review in the first period might have been.
No, in fact.
It took almost 10 minutes of real life time for them to figure out that was not going to be a goal.
I saw all of that, and I had thoughts about it. I just didn't hear any of it. So I don't know what ESPN was saying about it, but I thought, in my way, it was all reasonable that the puck was in. So you review that, and the puck was ruled in.
Their video clearly showed that the puck was in. None of the people who were talking about it seemed to recognize that.
No, that's weird.
Ferraro, McDonough, here comes Dave Jackson, the rules expert, and they're all talking about it like, well, we can't really see it.
So they were surprised?
Yeah, and Owen and I are like,
weird.
Is this insane?
That's bad.
Because that puck, they showed a shot from the front that showed the puck on edge in the guy's glove.
Yeah.
You could plainly see it. And then you look at the shot from inside the net, and that's clearly over the line. You can see the puck in there. And we're like, it's like 6 inches over the line. What are we doing here?
Well, maybe I should be glad that I didn't hear it.
Yeah, it was really frustrating.
Montreal reviewing for interference seemed reasonable also.
Yes.
And that's another call where who knows? Like, you could get it or not get
Flip a coin. Yep.
So time well spent, right? We love replays in sports. And
love it.
Another one of the billions of examples where it all just meant nothing. On that note, 803-0550. Paul at 4? Probably.
Yes, should be good. Yep.
Brian Koziol at 5:30 on the Sabres and the PGA Championship. Brian's got a tough job. I was texting with him on Sunday and then again today about the options. Like I would get super weird if it were my turn with the PGA. But I'll say that now.
Right.
I would get super weird with the picks this week. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. We'll look for your calls next. Great days. Lines open. This is WGR.
For more comfort.
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Garfel, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
Give Belknap a ring.
Thompson whiffs on the pass. He wants to shoot there, but he literally whiffs on it.
He almost gave it away again.
He didn't fall this time.
Unchallenged.
But
yeah.
he just whiffs on it, has enough space where he can get it back down low to Doan, and then look at Benson in that 1 second in front of the net, surrounded by Montreal. Surrounded. Skate, backhand, roof.
Right.
Oh, easy game. That guy. The legend just continues to grow.
Sure. Compounded by the footage of him singing "Don't Stop Believing."
Sure.
Before a face-off. That was while they were
amazing.
protecting the lead. Like he's just out there, like he's mouthing the words, and someone comes up to him and says something like, "Oh, yeah, what? What are we doing?" I mean, he's just, it's off the charts. This guy.
It is kind of that. Like this will all end at some point. And then will be time for perspective, like we have about the playoffs 20 years ago. Like just what we remember and how it went and who was good and who wasn't as good. This guy is carving a legend out here increasingly by each game. Like they were all over him in game one. He was a story going into this series. And then he makes the play immediately, first goal, boom. Benson. Oh, well, let's talk about him in game two. The Sabres are inept in game two, except for Benson, who makes
an incredible
play of the series. Right. And then here's game three, and he's on the board again, isn't he? In game three, I think he had at least a point. I don't know. It's a blur. And then last night, you get the winner, which, by the way, thank you for having that be the last goal of the game. I just want to say that once.
No, it worked out well for you.
And I think there's a part of the game our players need to understand that whether you like it or not, there are some light penalties getting called both ways. You got to keep your stick off people. It's the time of year where a player is going to do his best to make whatever call it is seem like it's almost the end of the world. The Thompson play, the Dahlin play, those types of plays. Our guys haven't lived enough of that yet to understand it. We talked yesterday at length about discipline for the game. We didn't pass the discipline test. I have been there and I've lived all those calls in the past, and it's something that we have to be better with.
Lindy Ruff. Ruff is great there, right? For all the times you don't get what you want from coaches at interviews, he's great there. He's perfectly open and real and right. You know?
And also sort of planting seeds with the officials that the Montreal players might be embellishing.
Boy, the Dahlin one was the worst.
Which never hurts, right? I mean, just you get one call, and he would tell you it's worth me saying all that just to get one call. Yeah, the Dahlin one was bad. The Thompson one was bad too. And there's missed stuff too. Helenu's got a vicious cross check in the back of the head on the disallowed goal play that, just completely ignored. So this game had a little bit of everything, and most of it was kind of weird or made you feel like I don't trust what's happening here. What is happening here? This doesn't seem right. Some of these calls, the non-calls, the goal thing, the review, all of it. The commentary even plays into that as a fan. You're watching, you're at the mercy of the people calling the game, and you think you're being gaslit. Like we talked about at the end of the last segment, the play where they're reviewing it for the goal, not the goalie interference. Like I see it. It's in. What are you talking about that it's not clear? You can see the entire outline of the puck in the guy's glove. What? So
clear and obvious.
Just it was a weird night. But they buttoned it up in the third, killed the penalty to start the period, and found their way, man. So yeah, 2-2. So yeah, I love Lindy there. We're getting the full dose of Lindy, playoff Lindy. Like he was very gruff with the assembled media yesterday. The interview that ran on pregame. He was very curt, like 4 or 5 word answers. Just didn't want to. How do you know he's playing? At one point, like he's just in. I don't know, embattled. Not really, but like he just took that route yesterday.
He wasn't in the mood,
right? And I don't know if there was a tactic behind that. I might guess that there is, but I don't have a good guess at what it would have been. Anyway,
we lost 2 in a row. I'm on the road, some of those moments from way back, Lindy, we're in Toronto or we're in,
right,
just
Canada
on
usually,
the road.
Yeah.
And, I don't really want to do this. I have an obligation. I'm not going to give you anything.
Right.
And then they win, and the pressure's off a little bit.
Right, here it comes.
And he ends up with this excellent explanation. I mean, it totally makes sense. You guys, I have been here. They're going to take these liberties. We need to learn about that's a thing and how to do that maybe to benefit us. And so that might be a part of their conversation today is, not diving. I think this series still has another level now. I think tomorrow night, I bought tickets to this game tomorrow night. I'm afraid to go. I'm not sure I can handle it. I think it has another level.
Don't worry, people. I'm not going with them.
Like coaches,
yeah,
taking it up another notch, and refs and fans, and I just think tomorrow night is going to feel like if you win, you've got it. And this is the good stuff. I just don't know if my heart can take it.
Right.
I'm going in there. I'm not going to wear a bag with the eyes not cut out so that I can't see anything.
Right, no.
I kind of want to not see
That
it.
would be kind of dumb to pay and then go do that. That would not be smart. Don't do that.
This will be almost the biggest game of my life. Like that, I went to Game 6 Carolina. I went to Game 5 Carolina. Game 6 Carolina, and that has to be bigger. But I just think Canadians and fans and everything.
Well, at least you won't have me making noises next to you. Like you did in
well,
Game 5
I didn't
against
mind
Boston,
that. I like noises.
Like, oh, yeah. There's a lot of that with me when I'm watching these games.
When I watch games with my wife at home,
it's just noise.
Now she is like capital H, capital M, hockey mom. Like when I watch games with her, last night, for instance, I can't get a word in. At one point last night in my living room with our daughter there too, I'm like, this is just like being on ADP chasing. I can't get a word in. Why do I need to, I should just not be here. Like she is so, nothing bad, just like so into it. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. I mean, just like, I don't know if I can take tomorrow. I need a regimen between tonight and tomorrow afternoon.
Owen, I hope he doesn't mind me saying, Owen was pretty wound up watching this game last night. We were together, and he was that. Like, he was actually, what he was me with you at Game 5 of the Bruins series. Like, he was at 11 every time he opened his mouth when something happened. And I didn't even have time to I was just like, yep. Sort of not like, yeah, that was tough. Like, but I couldn't get there because he was beating me to it all night long. And yeah, I could use to relax a little, I guess. But good luck, right?
I need a week before tomorrow.
I will stay home. He'll be at the game. You'll be at the game. I will stay home.
Maybe I'll just ponder the NFL schedule all night.
Right.
That'll help.
You will have that to distract us.
Let's go to Luke here. Hi, Luke.
Hey guys, good afternoon.
Hi.
So I just wanted to ask, like, if you think Kevin Adams, might be sitting at home watching this whole thing play out, just like your guys' thoughts on how he might feel seeing guys like Oslin, Benson, Hellenis playing so great, making such a high level impact, and they've got Kulik if he comes back to play, like he was looking, I think, pretty strong in limited action that he had. I just think the pipeline that we've got here just feels really strong. All those guys that I mentioned are 22 years old and below. Mm-hmm. And it's just such an interesting part of the story that he selected a lot of these guys, and they're making such an impact, and now he's not here to bear the credit. So I just was curious your thoughts on, I guess, the future of the team with all these young guys and how he might feel seeing this thing play out.
I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I think about it fairly often. It's really interesting. It would be really interesting to know how Adams is consuming it. If I were his friend, I would do my best to try to make him feel good because, like, he got cut from it. But, in terms of the roster, it's not even the young players that I think about first. Like Benson, Adams told us this, and it was obvious the night of the draft. Everybody was going to take Benson with that pick. Like that, they didn't even have to talk about it. Like that was just sort of, it fell into his lap. So there are, degrees of this. But what Adams did, I think you got to sort of say it's what he did.
You're still going to be willing to take a player that's 5'9".
Well, right.
Not everybody is. So
that's right.
It's not that obvious, but anyway.
No, that's right. I'm not trying to take credit away from him for that. But I think there are degrees of this. And if it's enough to just put some of these decisions on him as opposed to like putting them on the group, it's the veterans where I think he's more interesting to analyze. Like it's Zucker, say, somebody that, this is going to be biased by our conversations. Like, well, why do you need him? You're not going anywhere. Why do you need to pay him? Like, just let's get a draft pick.
Same with Greenway.
I mean, Samuelson earlier on was like, that was a big deal. And all right, well, I mean, there were moves that were not first-round picks that I think I would say were more controversial. And he made them. And, what the premise, he got killed for it, the idea of, like, wants to be here. But he had that in Zucker. He had that in, certain veteran players. And he wrote it like all right, well, this is what I'm doing. This is what I think we should do is keep, even if they're older, keep players. He trades Savoy for McLeod too. Like we're not going to go super young here, and let's see where that goes. And he got dumped right before it got off the ground.
Traded Peterka for Doan, too.
That's the big one.
That is a huge, and that's, wasn't even the main piece of the trade, but it really worked out.
Right. So when I think about Adams and all of this, it's not so much this is just me. Doesn't have to. It's not for me the draft picks as much as it is sort of like the theory or the thesis of it, which was, well, we're going to also, everybody gets draft picks, right? But we're going to keep guys that I think the book play would be to dump because they're too old. And who needs age when we're, in last place?
Yeah. Well, my try at that would be simply to say, if it needs to be said, I mean, we got to know him. I feel like I got to know him personally maybe in a different way than even you did. Adams I'm talking about here. But I don't ever want to pretend like I know him well. And I certainly wouldn't want to pretend like I know how he feels about all this. But I feel like the little bit that I do know him, like away from radio interviews, I'll bet he's really proud of the team he built. Even though he got fired, I think he still, I would bet he's cheering for these guys. Because in whatever way you want to slice it, he's going to get some degree of credit for how, whatever. If they lose the next 2 games or they go on and play into the middle of June. Like, his name is going to come up here because of, everything that he did here to put this team together, except get it to where it was one of the best teams in the league. And there will always be, I would think, in a certain amount of pride you would take in that. You literally did that job. And how, for whatever reason, it wasn't working when you were at the helm. I don't think that changes the fact that he's from here and cared passionately about the team and the organization and its place in the community, and all of that is blasting off. And I'll bet that puts a smile on his face.
I hope so.
I do too. I'm hopeful that that's how that is.
It's like Jimmy Carter and the hostages, isn't it? Is that what it reminds you of?
I wouldn't
like all the work Carter did to free the hostages, but they wouldn't cooperate until Inauguration Day. And then here's Ronald Reagan, and here are the hostages like on a plane. He basically gets to announce it the first day of his presidency.
Yeah.
And then what does Carter do? Does he mope? Is he bitter? I mean, no, he spent the next 45 years doing humanitarian work. That's just how you got to live your life. Well, if I didn't get the credit, someday historians they'll remember me.
This fits perfectly now.
Adams, it might have saved his career. The run the Sabres have gone on.
It's possible.
If he wants to be a GM again, I bet he will because of this roster. And that's, kind of amazing.
Yes, it is.
Given how it was when he was fired. But I don't know. He deserves some credit, maybe a lot, for what has happened. He did put the team together. 803-0550, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. Paul at 4 here on WGR. I don't feel like I watched last night's game. I tried to watch it while doing ADP chasing, and as usual in my life, I'm late. Like, I'm a minute and a half behind the play, and I've got Sanderson last night telling me Montreal scores 2-1. The Thompson goal, Schopp, 2-2. Like, I just, as soon as he reacted both times, I'm just over here looking at my phone, and it's like 2 minutes later when I get it. So I don't think I was really that, I mean, maybe I shouldn't admit this, but that I was really all in until the start of the third. And then, I was in love.
Yeah, so you maybe didn't realize how exhausting the review in the first period might have been.
No, in fact.
It took almost 10 minutes of real life time for them to figure out that was not going to be a goal.
I saw all of that, and I had thoughts about it. I just didn't hear any of it. So I don't know what ESPN was saying about it, but I thought, in my way, it was all reasonable that the puck was in. So you review that, and the puck was ruled in.
Their video clearly showed that the puck was in. None of the people who were talking about it seemed to recognize that.
No, that's weird.
Ferraro, McDonough, here comes Dave Jackson, their rules expert, and they're all talking about it like, well, we can't really see it.
So they were surprised?
Yeah, and Owen and I are like,
weird.
Is this insane?
That's bad.
Because that puck, they showed a shot from the front that showed the puck on edge in the guy's glove.
Yeah.
You could plainly see it, and then you look at the shot from inside the net, and that's clearly over the line. You can see the puck in there, and we're like, It's like 6 inches over the line. What are we doing here?
Well, maybe I should be glad that I didn't hear it.
Yeah, it was really frustrating.
Montreal reviewing for interference seemed reasonable also.
Yes.
And that's another call where who knows? Like you could get it or not get
Flip a coin. Yep.
So time well spent, right? We love replays in sports. And
love it. Get it right.
Another one of the billions of examples where it all just meant nothing. Well, he plays tomorrow, right? How could he not?
Probably. I don't know. You know how he could not? The morning show was talking about this. Brian Mazurowski from News Radio 930 pointed out to the guys this morning, I heard Jeremy talking about this at one point, that each of the wins so far for the Sabres in the playoffs have come with the goalie having more than one day off in between. Lion wins game 1, day off, game 2. No, excuse me. Luukkonen wins game 1. Sorry.
We're going back
to Boston. Luukkonen wins game 1. Game 2 is a day late. Like there's a day in between. Game 2, he gets pulled. They lose.
That's
2
days.
2 days. Lion plays. 2 days off after that.
No. 1. Friday, Sunday.
No, it's Thursday.
Then that's 1. Okay, Thursday, Sunday.
So Tuesday, he goes in and plays in the third period in game 2, but like he didn't play the whole game.
Right. Okay.
So there's only a day off there, but that's a little blip there. But he he played 14 minutes.
Thursday.
Yeah.
You're right.
So Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday,
they lost.
Right, only one day they lost.
Then Friday.
And then Friday, 2 days off, he wins. Time off again. Game 1 against Montreal, they win. 1 day off. He loses. Luukkonen eventually goes in. Like,
it's interesting. Are we doing that? Are we going by that?
I don't know. I'm just saying it's not a very big sample size. It's 10 games that we've got to work with. But in those 10 games, every time they've won, the goalie had extra rest.
That's right.
So you don't have any extra days the rest of the series. You haven't had them this whole series.
I thought Lyon was great in Game 5 against Boston, but they lost 2-1 in overtime.
So I don't know that they were talking about that this morning, and that gave me some pause. Yeah. Like, is this an opportunity to someone in a meeting today amongst the coaches make that point? And do they sit there and ponder like, all right, maybe we should just go back to alternating?
Do they, in the meeting, said meeting, mention that they heard it from Brian?
I don't know.
Yeah, guys, just like I'm hearing about it right now.
Right. I wonder, but again, it's such a, it's only 10 games.
They should.
But
they should source it.
I'm intrigued by that. I think I want to give it like a 10.
Tomorrow is the release of the NFL schedule. By my count, mostly with the international games and a couple of other openers, including the Bills-Lions opener in Week 2. 14 games have been announced. The latest being the night before Thanksgiving, which is usually a hockey night around here.
Thanksgiving Eve, yeah.
Green Bay at the Rams, 8 o'clock. We've got Wednesdays.
I'm going to tell you right now, it will still be a hockey night, especially with this team.
You think?
Yeah.
How many points over-under next year? What's the number going to be?
95 and a half.
5 and a half. I was going to say 95 and a half. And if they get 95, are we mad? Like, that's not great. After 109.
No, that's right.
That's a step back.
Big step back.
Yep. Here's Dane with us. Hello.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to recap my weekend as a Sabres fan in Montreal. I was lucky enough to go to the game on Sunday. Obviously not the result we wanted, but incredible environment. probably saw less than 10 Sabres fans at the game. You know, we got the F the Sabres chant on our way in, but still, amazing environment. Stayed in Montreal, didn't go to the game yesterday, but met up with some friends from Montreal who are all Habs fans. And I'm biking along the canal, if you've ever been there, about 3 miles in my Sabres jersey on the way to the game, getting booed by, you know, little children, grandmothers, like, and I walk into this bar, stares, what are you doing here? Booze, F the Sabres, meet up with my friends, and, you know, we're watching the game we got all the reviews. The broadcast is in French. I don't know what's going on. They're trying to drown me out by forcing shots down my throat. The owner, I think, gave me about 6 whiskey shots, unfortunately, until I had to tell him no. And just to emerge from that with a win in that bar of sad and quiet Canadian fans was a scene I'll never forget. I felt like I went into war and, you know, walked out victorious. I can only imagine what the team feels like. But anyways, don't have any questions. I just wanted to share that anecdote. It was a great experience.
Thank you. Interesting move for the bartender.
Right.
Do I serve this guy? Actually,
you.
let me overserve this guy.
Yeah. That is a move. That's a choice, because you could be worried that could really turn ugly. Like, you know, like you're inebriated, you're the interloper, the conference, you know, whatever. Like everyone gets a little too much to drink, and that's how, you know, usually bar fights start.
You're in another country.
Right.
Speaking a different language to some people.
I totally feel that whether you were with, I think I would have felt the same way if I were watching with Sabres fans. That game would have ended. I'd be like, we won that game? They did that? All right, wow, that's I said it's incredible that they won this game. For the first 2 periods, I just was really as worried about them as I've been in 6 months.
They held up, you know. It wasn't easy. They held up. They held up to the moment. Whatever the crowd is worth, I don't think it's that much, but whatever that is, just like all of it. And I love that Hellenius was such a star in that, because like that's a big point for me. You don't know. You might assume based on stereotypes, his age. You just don't know how he's going to do. Nobody does. Nope, not Lindy Ruff, not Hellenius himself. They don't know. Nobody knows how that's going to go. But the Sabres trusted it, and they got to a point where they felt like they needed him. You know, that had to happen first. And they leaned on him. Not only did they dress him.
He played the most 5-on-5 minutes of any one of their center icemen. Now,
so good.
The other guys were killing a lot of penalties. At least a couple of, you know, McLeod certainly was in that role. And I think Norris maybe too. No, he's not. It's usually not. Anyway, he led them in 5-on-5 ice time as a center iceman at 20 years old, playing his first playoff game. I mean, that is trust. Wow. He's on there. He's on late. He's just every situation. He was dynamite. He was dynamite. So credit. I mean, Lindy pulled the levers, and the goalie worked out great. Hellenius worked out great. Shen, to me, you get at least a passing grade. I mean, their penalty kill was fantastic. Probably won him the game. And the guy played like almost half of his ice time was on the penalty kill.
Right. Good coaching moves. Worked out. Paul Hamilton next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
the street last night. Said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster. Oh, roller coaster.
The Sabres get one back in Montreal, and now the series is tied 2-2. Game 5 is tomorrow night in Buffalo at 7 o'clock. Paul Hamilton does have more on yesterday's win up at our website, WGR550.com, and do stay tuned. We'll hear from Paul coming up after the update. Just one game tonight. It's out west. Colorado hosts Minnesota for Game 5. The Avs, though, are the team that can advance to the Western Conference Final with a win tonight. And then other notes in the NHL. The Maple Leafs will be in search of a new head coach as the team announced the firing of Craig Berube after 2 seasons on the job. And then Matthew Schaefer of the Islanders was awarded this year's Calder Trophy and was done so unanimously. In the NFL, we are all patiently awaiting the release of the 2026 schedule, and more games were announced today, specifically international games. Patriots versus the Lions in Munich, Germany in Week 10. Colts versus Commanders in London, Week 4. Saints taking on the Steelers in Paris, Week 7. And then Vikings are in Mexico City versus San Francisco. That's Sunday Night Football in Week 11. That's 9 total international games. And then we also are going to have the first ever Thanksgiving Eve game. Packers at the Rams. That's going to be on Netflix. Bisons are in action tonight. They are hosting the Woo Sox at game just after 6 o'clock. And in the majors, some early afternoon action. Yankees fall to Baltimore 7-0. The Jays have Tampa in town at 7:07, and then at 7:10, the Mets, they host Detroit. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Paul Hamilton.
Oh, Cervatic and Hamilton going to each other, and Sawinski. Fight into it.
We have to fight.
With Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Snodcheck was just totaled by an Iowa State player against the board.
I think it was by Hamilton.
On WGR.
Really a pretty unnecessary hit by Hamilton. Hamilton is still awfully mad. He's being held back.
Number 17, Paul Hamilton. 2 minutes for charging, 5 minutes for fighting, and a misconduct.
Sports Radio 550.
Come on, Paul. Behave. Just really? Was all that necessary? Were you sending a message? What were you doing? Paul is, can we ask? On his way home.
Paul is in transit, I believe, is Paul.
What are the scenes?
Paul's planes, trains, and automobiles minus the planes, I think, today.
Well, I spent my few minutes in Toronto, and now I made it to Burlington. And when we're done, it's start the motor and get to the Peace Bridge.
Are you taking that train, the GO train?
I already took it. Yeah, I'm in Burlington, so
okay. I love the
I'm
GO
done
train.
With trains. Now I'm in my car talking to you from the parking lot, and then when we're done, off we go.
I love the GO train. I've
I'm
done
a big
it
fan of the GO train
3 times maybe, and when I'm not on the GO train, I'm driving up there. I'm sort of jealous of the people on the GO train.
Me too, because every time I go with my wife up there, we would, if we're staying in a hotel, we pay to park the never use the vehicle the whole time we're there. So that's why we started taking the train. Because all we're doing is paying to park the truck here so we can drive from Toronto instead of Burlington. This is dumb.
And then I didn't realize, I thought after a Leaf game, well, I'll miss the last train or whatever, so I can't do that. And then Pat Malacaro told me the last train's 12:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Even if it goes to overtime, I can do that.
Right.
We took, I guess it was the subway after game 2 of the World Series, where you've just got maybe literally thousands of people trying to get on trains to get out. And it was super late, but it still happened. It still worked. Yep. So very good.
So anyway, you're making your way back. Paul, how I don't know, how improbable a win was that, considering how I thought they were coming undone in the first 2 periods with all the penalties, and it was the kingpin guys taking the penalties. I was starting to really get worried about them for the first time since, the new year. And they played a great third period.
I would agree with you for the first period. The second, I thought they were okay. I thought they were starting to get out of it a little bit. Luukkonen looked really good. Luukkonen said he was really feeling it by the second period, because Montreal scored that power play goal right at the end of the first. And now the fans are buzzing. But in retrospect, looking back, it was probably the best time for the Sabres to give that up because it shut the crowd up because intermission came. Instead of the crowd just going for ever and ever and ever.
This is the old. You don't want to give up that last minute goal, but you're saying maybe in this case it was beneficial. If you're going to give one up, give it up then. Yeah,
if you're going to give up the power play goal, do it then.
Yeah.
And then let's get everybody calmed down again. And they were fine, and they got a break. I mean, they're on their own power play, and Thompson rips the puck in off the stanchion, and, I'm sure Dobish thought he was going to rim it around the boards, and he's not really looking, and the puck comes right at him off the stanchion, right on the goal line from the boards all the way in, and it hits him either in the skate or the pad and goes in. So you get a break there, and, it's nice to get a break, just like Boston got a break on the Geeky goal. From center ice. So you get a break there. It's also a power play goal for you. It gets you going. Now you're no longer behind anymore. And now, all right, let's rev it up and let's get rolling. But honestly, guys, I think the biggest part of that game, the changing part of that game, they had to kill a penalty for 2 minutes and 31 seconds to start third. If Montreal scores there, I think it's going to be a really hard sell, because that place, they would have blown the roof off it. and they probably never would have stopped. But Buffalo killing it killed the crowd. It was the first time I could hear myself think in that building in two games.
They did it pretty neatly. They did it pretty neatly.
They did. I mean, Lokinen had to make some saves, but they weren't the bell ringers that he made on Caulfield earlier in the game when he came flying across on the power play twice on one-timers and stopped a 51-goal score. And I think that's what took it out of the crowd. It wasn't like, oh, we're close. No, we really aren't on this. Buffalo did a good job there. And that's when, all right, you got the crowd out of it finally. And I don't think the crowd was intimidating them as much as they did in the first game there. But still, you don't want them buzzing the way they go. So they get going, and they get going. And by that time, I was thinking, this is the Sabre team I'm used to seeing. They feel fine right now. They got energized off that penalty kill. They're thinking they're going to score and win this game. And that's exactly what happened. Then they got another power play on a double minor. And it was just fun to watch Benson. He's in front of the net, just a push which was enough to put the defenseman off balance, which gave him a chance to back off that defenseman, immediately opening the passing lane for Doan. Doan gets it there, and what a gorgeous move. I mean, just a skill move there to put it on the backhand and under the crossbar.
Wow.
To be able to get that goal. And here we are again talking about Benson and Newhook. The guys that are the guys maybe you weren't expecting to be running up the points in the playoffs, but they're both prominent in this game. And now you've got what turns out to be your game-winning goal on his 21st birthday. And they shut it down like they have so many times before. There were shots, but they were from the outside. I don't think Luukkonen had to make a great save for the rest of the period. He was making pedestrian saves from the outside. It's like, you want to shoot from out there, go. And the shots were 12-5, but I don't think anything. I think there was one really good scoring chance in there, and that was it. They did what the Buffalo Sabres do with a one-goal lead. And even Lindy Ruff said it, he recognized his team again, and so it was a really good road win for them. And like we talked about yesterday, I think it was the most important game of the season. I think they had to win that game, and they did.
At the risk of asking a bad question or one that's just been answered, was there anything intentional about the Thompson goal? From what he did there,
I don't think so. No, he laughed when I said to him, "Have you ever scored a goal like that?"
Good that you asked.
Now,
Good that you asked.
Remember the one he scored? What was it? The broken stick or what? I'm trying to think of. He scored a goofy. I can't think of what happened.
He's not trying to hit a target there.
It was in Chicago, and it somehow hit the backboard. I don't even remember how it all happened.
Right.
Okay.
But it was similar to that, but it wasn't exactly like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen a puck do that. Hit the corner.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was the boards or the stanchion, but it was the stanchion, and come right across the goal line from the corner all the way to the net. And Dobish wasn't expecting that. He probably never seen that either.
I guess I thought there's some reason. There might have been right to ask. There might have been some reason why he was trying to hit a certain spot.
That corner, they talked about it on the telecast that it's the Zamboni doors. The stanchions are thicker there. They broke this down. I saw on Sportsnet too. So that's I think it's a good question to ask him if they on shoot-ins said like target those doors or that but if he says no, I was just throwing it in and he got lucky.
He was, I think, trying to rim it around.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because he threw it in hard. He was trying to rim it around. If that was a specific play that they saw, he obviously even wouldn't have been doing it to score. He would have been doing it to carry him the puck out into the slot.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. What you think about Dobish on the play, and it's another part of that they were talking on ESPN about this, and again I saw some coverage of it on Sportsnet too, where like he doesn't come out to try to. A lot of times a goal, if he's guessing he's rimming this around. I think what I heard on Sportsnet was Montreal goalies know about the doors, and they won't go try to stop that behind the net because they're worried about it taking a funny bounce there. So they're supposed to stay in the net, and as it turns out, on this play, if he's out behind the net, that puck sails right through the crease because it wasn't going to go right in the net. If he's not there to bounce off of him, he would have been in the clear, but he stays in the net because of those doors, I
Interesting.
think is what I heard.
Love it.
And I'm going to say this in question form to see what you guys think. With as hard as Thompson put it in, would the goalie even come out to stop it, knowing that it's going to come around fast if it does come around?
Right. Sometimes they will just punt on that, and it's possible he was going to anyways, but what I'm saying is even shoot-ins from the red line where you've got the time to go out, the goalie will often stay in the net if you hit that corner. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the second period, so it's only one period each game that they got to worry about it for themselves. But that the goalie knows to stay in.
And now, so do our guys if they didn't.
Right. They get back there.
I can tell you this, and I've learned this in that building, the Montreal Canadiens do have plays off the back wall.
Sure.
Where the defensemen intentionally, because those are probably the bounciest boards I've seen in the league, and they know it, of course. It's their home rink. So they actually practice it, like ripping it off the back wall, knowing maybe the angle the puck might come out at, and then actually do plays that way.
This is the Thompson goal in Game 1, although we don't know if Darlene did that on purpose, but it did. They got that bounce. It went to the right of the net, off the wall behind, right kind of in the middle, and bounced right out to Thompson with a tap-in. So
yeah, it's similar. Yeah, exactly. That's a great example. Those are plays that Montreal scores on from time to time because they run plays like that.
Well, Paul, overall, Luukkonen, I mean, you already referenced the saves in the second period on the one-timers by Caulfield were like, that is the high end. That's the steal you a game type athleticism that you can get with a goalie that has the skill set and the size that Luukkonen has. The second goal, the Caulfield power play goal right at the end of the first period, is the downside, where he's just he's not all buttoned up there. He's too hard going into the post, and he's off balance, and his leg lifts up, and the puck goes in the net. So that's.
Well, I misunderstood your tweet, and I was going to ask you because I didn't understand what you meant. I was thinking that's probably a bad goal to give up, and he'd want that back. But then I read your tweet, and I thought, well, maybe it's not a bad goal. You explained maybe why the pad came up.
Well, no, I think it's a bad goal. He's out of control. Like he has to slide so hard to get there that he hits the post. You watch it again. His upper body is like almost knocks the. Not I'm exaggerating now, but he slides too hard, and his body hits the post, and the momentum of that is what caused his left leg to lift up.
I understand.
So technically, he was just off his platform, and there's like 3 movements preceding that. Each one was a little late. So he's just it's a criticism I've levied against him. Really, I mean. You have to be elite to always be under control, but there was a situation where it got away from him pretty quickly, and it cost him.
Also, Timmins is tied up with somebody in front of the net there. ESPN sort of circled him on the intermission replay of that goal. Maybe the Sabres should have wanted him to slide.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
maybe.
then somebody's open in the slot.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
So anyway, I thought we got the best and the bad, the good and the bad with Luukkonen, and the good outweighed the bad because those 2 saves in the second were fantastic saves.
Yeah, I think that play we just talked about might have been the only one I would complain about.
Yeah, same here.
He was kicking rebounds into the corner. I mean, he was directing his rebounds where he wanted them to go. So there weren't too many that were popping in front of him that he had to worry about. There were a lot of things to like in the game about him.
Would you expect him to play tomorrow?
I was expecting when they went to Levi, because Ruff talked about it a couple times, how much he liked the alternating goalies.
Lion, yeah.
I said, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't mean.
We're here
mean
for
to
you.
Do that.
4 letters, L.
Lion. But Lion played so well that he kind of, I think, felt he had to go with it. But I remember us talking about it. I was thinking maybe he was going to go back to the alternating once he replaced Luukkonen. But, I think he just felt, hey, well, let's keep going with it. But he loves the alternating goaltenders. So he might, and he said he did not blame any of this on Lyon, but the fact remains the team gave up 9 goals with a goalie in and 2 more with the goalie out. And it just wasn't working, so why not try something different, maybe a shock value for the team? He had told Luukkonen that he was going to get another opportunity. He didn't know when, and it turned out to be this game, so he may go to that alternating and put Lyon in for the next one. Just just because he likes it so much, and so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I normally, off of a performance like we saw last night from a goaltender, would say, of course he's going to stay in.
Yeah.
But I wonder if this is now a chance to really, like, for real, like, could he actually, that's it, we decided we're going to alternate from here on out. I don't care. Lion gets a shutout in Game 5. I'm going to Luukkonen in Game 6.
Wow.
And he never.
It would take a lot for a guy to do that, but I want to leave the door open because I just feel like it's possible.
He never deviated in the regular season. Remember, Lion had the shutout in San Jose, but Luukkonen took his turn the next game.
Yeah.
You know, so it didn't matter which goaltender did what. He was going to stay with the alternate until Lion had 3 starts, which weren't good, and then he went to Luukkonen.
It's so interesting. Either way, like you can win. I don't want to say you can't win, but if whoever you go with falters, then you're such an easy mark.
Right.
I mean, you might just want to go Rochambeau at this point and leave it to chance.
Ruff has been doing great. He's been doing great with what he does. I mean, I was dead wrong about Helenius. I mean, I was worried about a 20-year-old kid going into that arena. He handled it beautifully.
What a night he had.
Paul, Lindy's got him out there in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah. I mean, and deservingly so.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was doing him a favor or anything.
Right.
I mean, it was deservingly so. And I asked Helenius about, when he left Buffalo and went back to Rochester, could he feel right away that from that experience he was a better player? And he said, absolutely. So that kind of helped him even spring him in better at the American Hockey League level and to come in. So I was dead wrong about all that. I mean, that Lindy Ruff knew what he was doing there. I really thought about the Schenn thing, and it turned out to be what I was thinking, that, he brings a lot of experience to the lineup, and he can kill penalties for you. I don't think he was planning on playing them all that much. Most, or at least half of his time on the ice was killing penalties, but he can calm you down. Hey guys, relax, calm down. I think that's what he was looking for there. And there wasn't, I didn't say to myself, boy, he looked bad there. With the little bit he played, I didn't have any problem with him.
I had one of those, and I was not calmed down by his presence. Like, who's 5? Who's 5? Who invited 5?
Right.
So again, I will give Lindy Ruff credit for that one, because you're not thinking against a speed team to put Schenn in, but Schenn can also play the left side. I don't believe he did, but he can play the left side.
Yeah, I saw him on the right. Yeah.
And Timmins wound up playing like 21, 22 minutes, and Dahlin only played like 19. And you had mentioned about Byram, and Byram also was not on the penalty kill. And I think maybe Lindy Ruff is seeing a little bit of what you were seeing and I was seeing there, that he might be tiring a little bit. He only had a couple of seconds on the penalty kill, but I just have to bring up Samuelsson. I mean, even if he didn't score a goal, I think I might have made him the first star of the game. Or Luukkonen was first star, Samuelsson was second. Even without that goal, he played. I think the most minutes on the team.
Yes.
He played over 7 minutes on the penalty kill. He had 6 block shots. He had 6 body checks. He had a goal where it was a great read by him to get himself, to read the play, to get himself open. I couldn't have been more impressed with Samuelsson the way he played. And they needed him. When you're going to kill 7 penalties, which isn't ideal, you better have somebody ready to go. And Timmins, he had more time than Dahlin also, because he also was over 7 minutes on the penalty kill. So I can't say enough about the job I saw Samuelsson do in that game. I thought he was great.
And Dahlin was in the box twice, which might have flipped that.
That might have gone against him too.
Power too. I mean, Samuelsson played 4 seconds more than Power, and Power had more shifts. What a great night for him.
Yes, it was. No, he was excellent also. And Timmins, even though he got over 20 minutes, and I don't think he was overwhelmed by it at all. I mean, his 5-on-5 for the most part was pretty good. His penalty killing was stellar. And, to get that out of Timmins, I think you get a bonus there.
Yeah, and there was a moment in this game where Power and Timmins were on the ice together, and Power drags the puck way down to the goal mouth and throws it across the crease, and Timmins is the guy there trying to that's the Sabres. Even Connor Timmins is Eddie Olczyk would have loved it. He's at the blue paint trying to get a pass from coming across from his D partner, which is just, describe the Buffalo Sabres in 1 10-second clip. There it is. That's them this year.
He every now and then surprises you. I mean, when Benson scored the goal in Game 3, who was the guy that sent the cross-ice pass through the crease for the tap-in? It was Timmins.
Yep.
Who actually saw Benson over there and put the puck right on his stick so where he could tap it in. So every now and then he will surprise you offensively.
And Norris showed up too. I want to mention it. I don't think his name has come up yet.
Well.
He made obviously a great pass on the Samuelson goal. And I just thought was way more noticeable at both ends of the ice last night than he had been.
I was saying to Joe Yerdon as he was coming up the ice on that, I go, Joe, he is really skating well. And as I was getting the word tonight out of my mouth, he made the pass and they scored.
Yeah.
And Zucker, Helenius with Zucker and Quinn, I thought Zucker and Quinn both were better, especially Zucker. I mean, he made some good plays to Helenius for one-timers unfortunately he couldn't capitalize on, but it's just another one reason why Zucker's on a dry spell, because even when he makes good plays, they don't wind up in the net. And, he's just kind of snake-bitten right now. But those were good plays. Not having the TV, I thought when Montreal was challenging the goal, they were challenging Quinn because on his backhand, his stick hit the glove. The glove was not in the net. His stick put it in the net, which is illegal. I think had they challenged that, they would have won it either. The Helenius play, I'm looking at and going,
Yeah, that's a coin flip. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think – I looked at it slow motion. I'm not sure he got pushed in there, but I don't know if he impeded the goalie either.
It's really – it's whatever you want it to be.
Right.
If I were Montreal, I would have challenged Quinn's stick putting the glove in the net. I think you win that in 2 seconds. And by the way, you guys will love this. Brian Koziel timed it. That delay was 9 minutes.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah.
How long was that?
He timed it 9 minutes.
Way to suck the life out of a playoff game.
Exactly.
And give Montreal an opportunity to just completely reset. The Sabres opened the game 9 or 10-1 on shots. They were flying going into that first commercial timeout, and now we got to sit for 10 minutes. It was like Montreal got an intermission.
I guess the game got its life back.
And how does the game change if Buffalo, if they don't win that challenge, it's 2-0 and are going on the power play.
And the crowd is out of it, but now the challenge going their way brings the crowd back into it, and here comes Montreal now.
I don't want to think any of that necessarily is a conspiracy. I did wonder about that, however, when Luukkonen was getting his mask worked on. Good time for a break.
That did take quite a while. I wondered how long, because did you notice there was one of the equipment guys working on the mask. There's another guy standing
in the way.
But he's got a second mask. He does, but he's not showing it off. He's holding it at his hip. Kind of like, I don't want the ref to know that we have a backup mask because we want to take our time fixing this mask.
And we can block.
The referee was right
cameras.
next to Luukkonen. I was the other way. I was behind the bench. I could see them trying to fix the mask. I could see the referee. I did not see the second mask, and I was wondering where it was. Because I'm thinking by now there should be a second match because he got one. I know he has one.
They definitely was there, and I think the whoever was holding it was trying to keep it out of sight for as long as possible. Because I thought there might be a moment where the official's just going to say, "Get another mask." This is absurd.
No doubt, the Sabres equipment people, who are, I'm sure, highly competent, were doing their best there, but it did remind me of me trying to fix anything at home, which is, all right, hand that to me. And then I sort of fiddle with it for 5 to 10 minutes, and then I give it back. I don't know. I think you probably should throw it out.
And Elliot Friedman tweeted today that he thinks diving in this series is going to be addressed.
Well, yeah. Lindy is setting the table for that. I've not heard St. Louis on it. But Lindy, last night and again today, has made the point, they're going to call that stuff. I try to tell the team, but, they're going to go down easy, make it look like the biggest thing in the world or whatever. I feel like he's just fishing for one embellishing call.
And he did say today, too, that everybody does it.
Right.
He goes, because at this time of year, they're all trying to get power play.
Right.
So he said, everybody does it, and our guys have to realize it.
Right.
Very good, Paul. Enjoy the rest of your travels today.
I will. Time to get the rest of the way home.
Yeah.
All right.
Not necessarily such an easy section of this drive.
At least we know our equipment works in the parking lot in the middle of Ontario. That's cool.
You sound great. We missed the slither, but I mean, clear as a bell.
Should stay there. Stay there to cover the games, Paul. Just this parking lot.
Here's Paul Hamilton from Burlington in advance of Game 6.
The GO train station. Right. Thanks, Paul. Safe travels.
Take care, guys.
There's Paul Hamilton on the West Her Hotline. His appearances brought to you by Raylax Honda. Raylax, we got this.
Wow, this is so much fun. I even, just in case, I don't know in case of what, nobody's thinking about anything but the Sabres right now. Nobody. Like, this is just all-consuming. But I did make a fake schedule for the Bills. I did bother to make a schedule that, tomorrow we'll get it.
Yeah,
and maybe I'll be right about some of it, and I'll be excited about that and proud to boast.
Are you going to share this with our audience and/or the online social media community?
Is there any value in that?
No.
So I don't know.
No, probably not. But you did it, though. I mean,
I did it. I enjoy this.
Yeah.
This for me is fun.
That's right.
I didn't get to the other teams.
Yeah.
But I did bother to look at this. I'm just glued to this site right now. We've got to get to a break, I know. Progrid.org, the schedule site with like all amazing graphics. I did get to their tab where they have stadium restrictions to make sure none of my games were in stadiums where there was like an Ed Sheeran concert or something. I made sure to avoid that.
I just knew you were going to go to Ed Sheeran there.
Because we had that. We had Ed Sheeran
the
at
Patriots
Foxborough.
one year. Yes,
that's
why
I
right.
did.
That's right.
Elvis.
What?
Elvis. I could have gone Elvis instead.
No, he's passed.
Well, some people think that. Not everyone is positive of that.
I want to hear more about it.
I don't have anything more about it. 803, I still don't know the name of that song from last night. Somebody tweeted Suspicious Minds, and I believe it was not Suspicious Minds. 803-0550 for your calls. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
The Sabres tie the series 2-2 after getting the win last night in Montreal, and now the series does return to Buffalo in what is essentially a best-of-3. Games 5 and a potential Game 7 would be in Buffalo, and tomorrow night it will be Game 5 at 7 o'clock. For more on yesterday's win, Paul Hamilton has a piece up at our website, WGR550.com. Tonight, though, in the NHL, there is just the one game. It's out west, Colorado hosting Minnesota for Game 5. The Abs will advance to the Western Conference Final if they can get a win tonight. And then the other notes in the NHL today, the Maple Leafs will be looking for a new head coach, as the team did announce the firing of Craig Berube after 2 seasons on the job. And then Matthew Schaefer of the Islanders was awarded this year's Calder Trophy and was done so unanimously. In the NFL, we did get more schedule news as the full schedule will be released tomorrow night. Today, though, for the most part, we got a ton of international games. Patriots versus the Lions in Munich, Germany in Week 10. Colts versus Commanders, London, Week 4. Saints, Steelers, Paris, Week 7. And then Vikings there in Mexico City versus San Francisco for Sunday Night Football in Week 11. And now we have a total of 9 international games. And then we also got announced the first Thanksgiving Eve game. That is going to be Packers at the Rams, and that'll be on Netflix. And in baseball, Bisons are in action tonight. They do host the Woo Sox. That game will get going just after 6 o'clock. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
We had all the confidence in the world in all of our goalies. So, Oopie made, so many big saves tonight that, we really needed and in key moments. So all the credit goes to him. He was the biggest reason of why we walk out of this building with a win.
Zach Benson, our hero. Did you not love the stat on ESPN's broadcast last night of the 3 players who scored on their 21st birthday? Was it just playoff goals, or I forget if there was anything more to it? Zach Benson, Mike Rathje, Gordie Howe. He's now on a list with Gordie Howe, everybody.
Combination of players. Yeah, I don't know if that was playoffs only or not, but yeah, still, whatever. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
To see that list, yeah.
And what can you say anymore about him? That play, we talked about it last hour, the winning goal, which, how many chances did they get? I guess you had the 2 Hellenius plays. Those were good chances. Anyway, power play, Thompson kind of muffs it, has time to get it back down to Doan, and then into Benson, who, with 3 Canadians and the goalie in a circle around him, skate, stick, backhand, roof.
Yeah.
Just like the poise, and I don't know if he gets credit for skill as much as he should because of all the other effort-related stuff.
But that's an elite play in a very high traffic area. That Paul highlighted how he made a little room for himself. Right, you got to get your shot, work for your shot.
Yep.
It's more of a basketball thing, but in this case, he created a little space. I don't have the whole play committed to memory. I remember Thompson the bobble. And I wonder if the bobble worked for him.
I agree.
In a way, because that defender sees him bobble, and I think again, this is how I remember leans, takes a stride toward Thompson, and Thompson regains control quickly enough to get it to Doan. Maybe the whole play doesn't happen without the bobble, because that high guy might have been too close to Benson for Doan to try that pass.
Yep.
But it just worked. It just all worked out well enough that maybe the bobble was like the secret sauce in the play. Kind of like that thing where, like any shot, a change-up kind of play. Like you're thinking something's about to happen and you react and oh no, that's how quick. That's how quick can happen. But
I feel like that is so right. I think that was probably true on that play. And there have to be so many goals that you can't attribute to a mistake, like a reaction to a mistake. Mm-hmm. The defenseman has the instinct, maybe I can get that.
Right.
Like it's not even that long where you would say it. Right. You would just sort of sense it.
You just
and then
do it, and then you're out of position. That's it.
Goals where somebody's lining up for a shot from the outside and, you think you can get your stick to it, but you end up causing a problem, even if you don't deflect the shot because it just affects the goalie's view of it and
Right.
possibilities that they're computing just, subconsciously in that moment. I think that happens all the time.
So much of that. So that was a great, but solely what Benson does to get to under control, skate to stick, little deke and backhand roof just from in tight like that. Really, really well done. Really, really well done.
Well, he is up to 2-2 in the series. I've been keeping it every day for my all-time Sabres Canadiens playoff stats. Benson's up to 1-5. Or I'm sorry, Doan is up to one goal, 5 assists in the series. And then we have this new hook. It was 5 goals and no assists. 5 goals.
Guy can't be stopped.
What's up with that guy?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have like a career of not scoring in the playoffs?
He's still, to me, he won the. He's maybe a rookie with Byram when they win the Cup in Colorado. I'm pretty sure I've seen a picture during these playoffs of Byram passing the Cup to Newhook, even because they were that closely aligned. They would have been like one after the other in the line of guys to get the Cup. I felt like he always had there was a sneaky high end there, but he's had trouble staying healthy. And some of what I've been reading about Montreal in the run-up to this series and now that the series is going on is that 2 trades that they made, him and Kirby Dach, are finally sort of starting to pay off. They're getting they were bets that were made much earlier in the rebuild, and they really didn't become leading players for them. And they're still not leading players, but they are supplementing their high end with those guys now, and those trades are starting to look better. The more we go on here with those 2 guys. So Newhook has mostly been, I think, unfulfilled promise. I think so, but there's always been the high end there. I think so.
Okay, traded by the Avs to the Canadiens 3 summers ago, right around the draft, for 2 draft picks and a player. So it was somewhat of a bet by the Canadiens.
Yeah.
Here's Tony with us. Hi, Tony.
Hey, guys. I don't know if you remember me, but you hosted the Hamburg brewery, and I was like your biggest fan that day, and I walked up, I got your autographs, and I was wearing a Billy Leno jersey, which is irrelevant to what I want to talk about.
You had me at Billy Leno jersey, Tony. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yep. So I was listening to Brett Ryder and the morning show, and Owen was kind of hot about how the 5 shots they got Luukkonen to steal the game. But I play a lot of bar hockey, and sometimes the goalie doesn't even show up, so they throw a different guy in. And I mean, it's pretty. I would say it's a smart tactic because you get a different guy in the net, and maybe they figured out Ryan, put in another 5 goals. What happens then? I mean, it was definitely a smart move. I think it was good to bring in the young talent. And, I just wanted to touch on, what you think is going to happen this game in Buffalo, considering that they don't have a good home record. I know the money line is probably going to be somewhere close to even for Buffalo, maybe just because they're home.
Minus 125 as of today. Yep.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
122. 122.
That's insightful, I guess, because they've lost every time, so that money line would lose, most of the time.
Well, they won Game 1, and they won Game 1 against Boston, but they have lost 3 playoff games at home. When we asked Paul, thanks, Tony, about the Luukkonen point tomorrow in mind, he laughed. He sort of, I don't know. It's not. It wasn't obvious to Paul that Luukkonen would get the net again. I think there might be enough of a difference in how the 2 play that it could be, something the Canadians have to sit with or would have sat with yesterday. Just like, what do we need to know here? What I like most about Luukkonen, you've talked about the second goal that he gave up and how he overplays. We have, usually Sabres, Bills, a lot of the time we spend talking about mistakes that they make and maybe not as often on what they do well. But, that's sort of the nature of it. I like about him, and this has been evident in the playoffs, he hasn't played in a while, but when the puck comes to Luukkonen, he almost always gets it right. Whether that's, putting it in the corner, playing it up the ice, glove cover.
He's freezing it, right. Yeah.
He almost always gets that right, and he can really move. Like, maybe that's where he gets into trouble. But not being a goalie analyst per se. I mean, I like his body. I like how Luukkonen is active, and I think he might be a little bit different for the other team versus a Lion who's more, maybe composed. And, I mean, he is sort of like he makes himself into kind of a ball and is back in his net, and he's going to, try to get that shoulder up to stop the shot ticketed for the top corner. I think they're just maybe enough different style-wise that this is a rare case for me where I would want to be open to, like, all right, well, what does that mean to the opponent? Mm-hmm. But I really like how Luukkonen moves, and whenever the puck, like, you take the third period of that game, they weren't under duress, like they weren't in shambles, the Sabres.
But they were in their end a lot.
And a lot of these plays start with the dump in, and he just kind of usually makes the right decision. So I'm not afraid to go to him again. I kind of think I'd be surprised if they didn't. You've been right every time on this.
Yeah, I would also be surprised if they didn't. It's just that hearing on the morning show today, courtesy of our buddy Brian Mazurowski at News Radio 930, point out, again, it's a small sample size, but from game one of the Boston series, the goalie, they've won the game when the goalies had an extra day of rest. And when they've played with only 1 day in between, they have not won. So that's 10 games, and so you can, chop that up however you want. I guess I think Luukkonen would be my choice too, but I want to leave like 10%, 20%, some chance that they're going to, looking at everything, their teams of analysts and whatever, and hey, did you notice the calendar? Maybe it's a chance to go back to we're going every other, they're going to alternate until further notice. And I don't know. If you were going to do that off of last night, then you're doing that after any game. Because Luukkonen he made a difference last night for them. It's not saying Lyon couldn't have made a difference, but he didn't get the opportunity, and Luukkonen did. Those 2 saves in the second period might have been season-saving saves. It's kind of funny. Like, maybe Lyon doesn't get to one of those 2. But you know what I also think Lyon doesn't do? I don't think he gives up the Caulfield goal at the end of the first period. I think he's buttoned up going over to that post, and he's under control, and the leg isn't lifting up, and like all that. It's like, you give and take here. I don't know. I'm pretty far out on a limb. I think Luukkonen will play again tomorrow, but I think it's possible that they recognize the rest and go, maybe we should just go back to what we did all year.
Well, as you lay that out, I can't say that I would hate it. You really do have to plant your flag before these games.
Right.
I wouldn't blame them. There's always, maybe sometimes a lot, that you don't know about the goalie's mental state, their conditioning, whatever. That's always important to point out. We're really just guessing about. We're making a lot of assumptions about what that stuff really is, and it's never something that gets out publicly. I guess I want to give them the benefit of the doubt on pretty much everything right now. Look how far they've taken us. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog back after this. This is WGR. Would you expect him to play tomorrow?
I was expecting when they went to Levi, because Ruff talked about it a couple times, how much he liked the alternating goalies.
Lyon, yeah.
I said, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't mean.
We're here for you.
Do that.
4 letters, L.
Lyon. But Lyon played so well that he kind of, I think, felt he had to go with it. But I remember us talking about it. I was thinking maybe he was going to go back to the alternating once he replaced Luukkonen. But, I think he just felt, hey, well, let's keep going with it. But he loves the alternating goaltenders. So he might, and he said he did not blame any of this on Lyon, but the fact remains the team gave up 9 goals with a goalie in and 2 more with the goalie out. And it just wasn't working, so why not try something different, maybe a shock value for the team? He had told Luukkonen that he was going to get another opportunity. He didn't know when, and it turned out to be this game, so he may go to that alternating and put Lyon in for the next one, just because he likes it so much. And so it'll be interesting to see seconds on the penalty kill, but I just have to bring up Samuelsson. I mean, even if he didn't score a goal, I think I might have made him the first star of the game. Or Luukkonen was first star, Samuelsson was second. Even without that goal, he played. I think the most minutes on the team.
Yes.
He played over 7 minutes on the penalty kill. He had 6 block shots. He had 6 body checks. He had a goal where it was a great read by him to get himself, to read the play, to get himself open. I couldn't have been more impressed with Samuelsson the way he played. And they needed him. When you're going to kill 7 penalties, which isn't ideal, you better have somebody ready to go. And Timmins, he had more time than Dahlin also, because he also was over 7 minutes on the penalty kill. So I can't say enough about the job I saw Samuelsson do in that game. I thought he was. He's been doing great. He's been doing great with what he does. I mean, I was dead wrong about Helenius. I mean, I was worried about a 20-year-old kid going into that arena. He handled it beautifully.
What a night he had.
Paul, Lindy's got him out there in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah. And deservingly so.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was doing him a favor or anything.
Right.
I mean, it was deservingly so. And I asked Helenius about, when he left Buffalo and went back to Rochester, could he feel right away that from that experience he was a better player? And he said, absolutely. So that kind of helped him even spring him in better at the American Hockey League level and to come in. So I was dead wrong about all that. I mean, that Lindy Ruff knew what he was doing there.
So anyway, you're making your way back, Paul. How I don't know, how improbable a win was that, considering how I thought they were coming undone. in the first two periods with all the penalties, and it was the kingpin guys taking the penalties. I was starting to really get worried about them for the first time since, the new year. And they played a great third period.
I would agree with
listener any justice by calling in. So we'll get right to that after the next update in less than 10 minutes. Who do you think the favorite is for NFL Comeback Player of the Year 2026?
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, wrong.
No?
No.
You've got to look at that job.
He's the favorite to start week one, but nobody's going to want to vote for him. No, actually, Patrick Mahomes is the betting favorite to be the comeback player of the year, as he is coming off a knee injury that happened very late in the season after they'd already been like 5-10 or something. Patrick Mahomes is the answer to the question. Kirk Cousins is the betting favorite to start week one for the Raiders.
We'll get back to talking about hockey after this.
We will do that next.
Good.
Thought they were okay. I thought they were starting to get out of it a little bit. Luukkonen looked really good. Luukkonen said he was really feeling it by the second period, because Montreal scored that power play goal right at the end of the first, and now the fans are buzzing. But in retrospect, looking back, it was probably the best time for the Sabres to give that up because it shut the crowd up because intermission came. Instead of the crowd just going for like ever and ever and ever.
This is the old. You don't want to give up that last minute goal, but you're saying maybe in this case it was beneficial. If you're going to give one up, give it up then.
Yeah, if you're going to give up the power play goal, do it then.
Yeah.
And then let's get everybody calmed down again. And they were fine, and they got a break. I mean, they're on their own power play, and Thompson rips the puck in off the stanchion, and, I'm sure Dobish thought he was going to rim it around the boards, and he's not really looking, and the puck comes right at him off the stanchion, like right on the goal line from the boards all the way in, and it hits him either in the skate or the pad and goes in. So you get a break there, and, it's nice to get a break, just like Boston got a break on the Geeky goal. From center ice. So you get a break there. It's also a power play goal for you. It gets you going. Now you're no longer behind anymore. And now, all right, let's rev it up and let's get rolling. But honestly, guys, I think the biggest part of that game, the changing part of that game, they had to kill a penalty for 2 minutes and 31 seconds to start. If Montreal scores there, I think it's going to be a really hard sell because that place they would have blown the roof off it, and they probably never would have stopped. But Buffalo killing it killed the crowd. It was the first time I could hear myself think in that building in two games. And
they did it pretty neatly. They did it pretty neatly.
They did. Luukkonen had to make some saves, but they weren't the bell ringers that he made on Caulfield earlier in the game when he came flying across on the power play twice on one-timers and stopped a 51-goal score. And I think that's what took it out of the crowd. It wasn't like, oh, we're close. No, we really aren't on this. Buffalo did a good job there. And that's when, all right, you got the crowd out of it finally. And I don't think the crowd was intimidating them as much as they did in the first game there. But still, you don't want them buzzing the way they go. So they get going, and they get going. And by that time, I was thinking, this is the Sabre team I'm used to seeing. They feel fine right now. They got energized off that penalty kill. They're thinking they're going to score and win this game, and that's exactly what happened. Then they got another power play on a double minor, and it was just fun to watch Benson. He's in front of the net, just a push which was enough to put the defenseman off balance, which gave him a chance to back off that defenseman, immediately opening the passing lane for Doan. Doan gets it there, and what a gorgeous move. I mean, just a skill move there to put it on the backhand and under the crossbar.
Wow.
To be able to get that goal. And here we are again talking about Benson and Newhook the guys that are the guys maybe you weren't expecting to be running up the points in the playoffs, but they're both prominent in this game. And now you've got what turns out to be your game-winning goal on his 21st birthday. And they shut it down like they have so many times before. There were shots, but they were from the outside. I don't think Luukkonen had to make a great save for the rest of the period. He was making pedestrian saves from the outside. It's like, you want to shoot from out there, go. And the shots were 12-5, but I don't think anything. I think there was one really good scoring chance in there, and that was it. They did what the Buffalo Sabres do with a 1-goal lead. And even Lindy Ruff said it, he recognized his team again, and so it was a really good road win for them. And like we talked about yesterday, I think it was the most important game of the season. I think they had to win that game, and they did.
The Buffalo Sabres even up the series against Montreal following last night's win, with the series now tied 2-2. Game 5 comes back to Buffalo. That game is tomorrow night at 7. Paul Hamilton has more on yesterday's win up at our website, WGR550.com. There is just one game tonight. It is out west. Colorado hosts Minnesota for Game 5. That's at 8 o'clock. The Abs will advance to the Western Conference Final with a win tonight. And then some other notes in the NHL. The Maple Leafs are in search of a new head coach. The team did announce the firing of Craig Berube after 2 seasons on the job. And then Matthew Schaefer of the Islanders was awarded this year's Calder Trophy and was done so unanimously. In the NFL, we are all still patiently waiting the announcement of this year's schedule. That is going to be tomorrow night, but we have, of course, been getting the crumbs as we go. Today, it was mainly international games. Patriots versus the Lions in Week 10. That's going to be in Germany. Colts versus Commanders in London, Week 4. Saints taking on the Steelers in Paris, Week 7. And then Vikings are in Mexico City versus San Francisco, Sunday Night Football in Week 11. That makes now 9 total international games. And then we also got the announcement of the first Thanksgiving Eve game. That is going to be Packers at the Rams on Netflix. And the Bisons, they are in action tonight, hosting the Woo Sox. That game just after 6. While in the majors, some early afternoon action. Yankees fall to Baltimore 7-0. The Jays have Tampa Bay in town at 7:07, and at 7:10. The Mets, they play host to Detroit. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
Monday, Tuesday, hump day is halfway.
It's Mike Schopp.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And the Bulldog.
Hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on. I know you can hear me.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo!
On WGR.
Hump Day.
Sports Radio 550.
Okay, yes, as promised, right to calls. After this pressing question from the Would You Take department, would you take Game 7 right now? I'm saying no.
Yeah, I'm a no too.
All right. Good for you.
Hopefully you found your game. Stay out of the box. Win Game 5. And, yeah, I would not want to assume I can't go win another game up there.
Power play's a little bit off the mat.
Yeah. I mean, they got the benefit of the 2 yesterday, and one of them was, pretty as fluky as it gets, but whatever.
Benson's goal
was a beautiful play. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
You're a no.
I'm a no. I don't want to. Yeah. I feel like that's hedging toward like I'm worried about tomorrow a little bit. Like I could see this team winning 3 in a row.
What if they lose tomorrow, win Saturday, and then Game 7 happens and you have to go to it? Would you take Game 7, but you have to go to it? We're so out of touch.
I don't think the fan base really wants to have to handle me going to Game 7.
Why wouldn't you want to go to it? Because we're not 30. If you're young,
Right.
you can take your heart can take it, and you're not completely undone by the past.
Right.
Completely just distracted by games you went to that they lost and you were crushed.
I mentioned already today that watching last night with Owen. He was like at 11 when the game started. You know, all the stuff the reviews, the penalty, the guy, are you kidding me with that call? Like he's very vocal. So I am just sort of, my reaction to that is to not try to keep up. My reaction to that is just pretty much just shut up. So I got my feet on an ottoman. I'm sort of, this is my posture. I'm watching the game. I'm sort of nodding. He's yelling and I'm nodding, right? And we get like 3-2. All right, well, there's still 15 minutes to go. It's a lot of time. I can't sit up like this for 25, 30 minutes or whatever, how long real time. Sort of gradually, and by, 4 minutes to go, last commercial timeout. I mean, I'm like elbows on the knees, edge of the couch seat. The ottoman is in the corner. Like I'm ready to like tear into like a pig that just came off the spit. Like all I'm missing is the big fork and the knife and the big napkin. I'm just like, come on, you can do it.
Are we not all at the end of these road games we're watching on TV on our feet? Not the losses, but I'm on my feet. Well, I don't know if it's every game because one was 6-1 in Boston. Like last night, of course I'm on my feet for the last 2 minutes of that game. Just of course I am.
I stayed in the seat, but I was in the posture I just described, like very edge of the seat, not pacing around. But that's just Game 4. So like Game 7, like same scenario in a Game 7, I might have to be in a ball.
You're
somewhere.
curled up in a ball.
I don't know. I don't want to do that at the arena.
Good thing for you, I was not with you last. No one wants to be curled up in a ball in the arena.
No one wants to see me like that.
Good thing for you, I was not with you last night because if you pull at 15 minutes left after the Benson goal, I don't think I can sit up in my chair for the next half an hour. I would have turned into Kramer's psychiatrist and simply said to you coldly, you can and you will. Okay? You can and you will.
Yeah.
That's the least you can do is to sit up. Dan is with us. Hello, Dan.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
First, no, I would not take a Game 7 and definitely would not want to be there. It won't erase the past memories. It would be too much. But I still think you have to plan for it. And the goalie conversation from earlier, who do you play tomorrow? I think if you're going to alternate, you still got to figure out who you're going to want to play in Game 7. Because if you start alternating now, that leaves you with Lion Game 7. Is that who you want for Game 7? So
right. If you lose 5 and win,
if
you lose 5 and win 6, are you really going back to the goalie you lost Game 5 with? Right. I mean, you can commit to that, or you can just wing it, like they've been doing.
This is the biggest stick in the spokes to the bicycle rolling down the hill that is this conversation. It is mapping that part out, because if you were really gonna do it, you have to be committed to do it for tomorrow, because of what Luukkonen did last night. You have to say, yeah, he was great, but we're going to do this now, which I think in theory should mean that in practice it doesn't really matter how well or poorly Lyon plays in Game 5. Luukkonen's going back in Game 6, and onward we go. And so, yeah, you'd be making your decision that basically Lyon is going to be your Game 7 goalie. And there's almost no way you would do what you just said. Like if he loses Game 5, Luukkonen gets Game 6, and they win it in Montreal to force Game 7, you're not going back to the guy that just lost Game 5 at home.
No, I don't think you're at all committing to this plan now. No. You know what you could do now?
I like thinking about it for the 2 hours or so we've had with it, but I think it's over.
I'm going to propose doing something that I would laugh my butt off at in November if this were a thing. The whole thing about the starter's net. Let's have 2 of those tomorrow morning, right? Maybe? Can we just have 2 of those?
Well,
what's the harm in giving another, like Lyon and Luukkonen each the so-called starter's net? Like, am I trying too hard if I want to pull that game off tomorrow? Again, I'm laughing at this most of the season.
What am I doing with Ellis in this
Ellis.
scenario? Well, that's the starter net is one end, but it is also for the Sabres. Those 2 guys are at the other end. So those are the 2 guys that aren't playing, the other guy's playing.
Well, I'm not using Ellis.
Okay.
For this plan.
Okay, he's not practicing then tomorrow? Sorry, I don't mean to get sticky with you.
Just give him a forward stick. He can skate around.
He can have a day off.
Do I need him to practice tomorrow? No offense.
Yeah.
Do I need Colton Ellis to practice tomorrow?
Probably not.
I mean, they could both go down in the skate. It's not even that serious. Well, easy. Here I am saying that, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there are ways.
You could have them split time in the starter's net.
And they both have to come on identical, the same exact moment. They have to squeeze through the boards together and then just sort of at the same pace.
Leave the ice
to the
together.
Net, and then turn out like that. Now it's like it's couples Olympic figure skating. Where it's a whole routine I've got in my mind here. And then one picks the other up.
Oh, my God.
That's going too far, Bulldog. You don't have to say it. I know it. That's going too far.
We've peaked. Yeah.
Dan is next. Hello, Dan.
Luukkonen is playing tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Sure, Dan. Thanks.
I just wanted to talk about Owen Power for a little bit.
Good.
I think of him, you hear about defensemen sometimes. If you don't notice them, it's probably a good thing. But with him, to me, he's such a solid defenseman. He's almost hard to even talk about. It's kind of like offensive linemen in football where if you notice them, it's generally a bad thing. He's just seems like such a great skater with good enough speed. He's so good handling the puck when he's under pressure in the defensive zone. And, I mean, all these penalties we see, I don't even know if has he taken a penalty in his career? I mean, I was joking about that.
Good question.
But all of this, when he's typically matched up against the other team's top line. There are a couple things, minor criticisms I see, one in the offensive zone, one in the defensive zone, but he's almost hard to talk about because he's so solid. But that's just my thought.
You know, I will offer this up as an idea to others who don't see Dan's wisdom here. Just, change his last name. Watch the game tomorrow and pretend he has a different last name. You can't use Parker because, one, there is an Owen Parker in your life already, and two, Bulldog, as Parker, played hockey as a big defenseman, so we don't want to get too convoluted. If you pretend his last name is Schopp, and he doesn't sort of resonate with a name, a good face, good name. This always was something that bothered me about Ristolainen. This is a fallacy in sports and in life. Maybe my wife once in a while will start to complain about somebody, and the first question I'll ask her is he tall? What's his name? Is he tall? And then, okay, well, now it makes sense to me why he might be in a position. So here's Owen Power, who's supposed to be big and strong, first overall. He is big. But he doesn't play the game you want him to play if you just stop at first base, which is the name on his jersey. And so, but pretend his name is, maybe you have a name that would apply to this too. I have a name that does not evoke, So try that. See if Owen Power looks different to you. If his name is not Power.
He's Owen Schopp.
He was the man of the match last night. Samuelson's right there too. Paul's fine on that with the power play, the penalty killing point. But man, it's I guess I can't deny that some of it is just because when will he get credit from the fans? Thank you, Dan, for being brave enough to call in with compliments to Owen Power. Like, who does that? It's definitely deserved. It's definitely deserved.
He makes dozens of good little plays that I think you might tend to take for granted. And it's not like I'm telling you, like I watch the game differently than you. I know that I am not predisposed. In fact, I'm sort of the opposite. Like if you're like piling on a guy, if I feel like a guy's getting piled on by the fan base wrongly, I'm going to try to find the things that are valuable about him.
Me too.
And just want to be here to try to push back on it. And I'm not saying that people don't know. Maybe they just don't value it. I don't know. Maybe you just can't see it the same way because it just seems like an unimportant little play. But where he puts the puck for his partner in their own end when they are under pressure is almost always the right place. Like, I know he gets beat at the front of the net. He's not as aware of a guy as he should be all the time and all this stuff. I know. His shortcomings are there. He's not a perfect player. There is no perfect player. But he does so much so well that triggers how this team plays. That if you think you take him out of the lineup and you can just replace him with your name here, like, you're out of your mind. You're way off. He's as important. Any one of those four guys. So I'm starting. That's why I'm so worried right now about his main partner, Byram, because I really thought last night I noticed what a couple of people, or one guy specifically that I trust a lot watching this stuff, has been in my ear with, like, he's look out, like the bottom could fall out here. Last night they were lucky to get away with his minutes because he was as good as he was against Boston. To me, was that bad last night. So Power's dragging him around last night too. And I would say against Boston, Power played well, but like Byram was driving that pair against the Bruins, and it's not that way anymore. I will see. Maybe a little time, a day off here. Byram, hopefully he can get it back. But that, to me, bears watching. Power, to me, he's as important as any one of those four. I think any one of those four goes out of the lineup, this whole thing crumbles.
The best tomorrow night would be Sabres are cycling. And think of Samuelson against the Bruins in Game 1, where the puck pops out. That was a pass. The puck pops out to Power, and he buries one. Like, he doesn't have that.
Right.
Like he doesn't have the snipe.
Right.
But, man, if he were able to score on a chance from the slot that opens up for him, just like, we would lose it. It's just, We'd love a goal. Would love a goal from him. Thanks, Dan. Derek is next. Hi, Derek.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure
I wanted to talk about Tage Thompson. More specifically, the narrative on this guy throughout, I guess since Game 2 of the Boston series, is that he's just playing so poorly. And I think it's rightfully so. The guy's been responsible for a lot of really boneheaded plays. I don't know if boneheaded is the right word, but really poor angle shots that result in odd man rushes the other way, falling down, resulting in goals. And the goals he's had in Montreal so far, they've been lucky bounces. 1 in 5 million shot that went in yesterday on a dump in. And we're talking a lot about Benson and Doan really driving the team and their success so far. Again, rightfully so. But despite everybody kind of dogging on Thompson, the guy's still leading the team in points throughout the playoffs. And it might be a really broad, question, but what do you make of that? Does it say more about what Thompson is capable of when he's playing the worst hockey of the playoffs so far? I'm trying to make sense of how he's able to do it while playing really poorly, and I guess that's my question.
It's fair. I think it's mostly fair. I think the points have been, think of last night. It's 2 power play points. The goal is a fluke. That's even putting it mildly. It doesn't bounce in off 2 shin pads. It goes in off the corner boards. And, his assist is on a play where he muffs the puck and saves himself and gets it down low and then Doan to Benson. So there's 2 points. Game 1 against Boston, he saves them. It's a great play. The first goal, if you can remember it, from behind the net. The second one, it comes to him, and he finishes that play. It was always, as I tweeted about at the time, it was always very strange to me how Swayman lifted up there, like what happened on that. But, you don't need to nitpick it. Guys that score on his level, they score all kinds of ways. But I don't think the points really deflect well from what isn't going well for him. I mean, I don't know. He bristled at a question about whether he's injured. Not the greatest sign of maturity.
And also not a great sign that he's not injured.
Right. You need power play points. Last night you got 2. However they happened, you got 2. Like a guy like that needs to score to have value. And one thing that's been said by many about the Sabres, think of Greg Wyshynski, who I think is on with us again tomorrow. He's given us a lot of his time and analysis going back years, but also like to the point at which the Sabres got pretty this year. He questioned, just how good they are overall. And maybe that even starts with Thompson in terms of possession numbers and analytics, and maybe he's not one of these elite centers that when they're on the ice, not only do they, I mean, there are very few of these guys, but not only do they score, but your team is not in trouble when 5-on-5. Like your team is not in trouble very often when they're on the ice. And Thompson isn't that. I mean,
no, that's right.
They get kind of spun around sometimes.
That gets you back to where you need the production to offset what the shortcomings sometimes can present.
Yes.
And that absolutely is true of him. It is a thing that keeps him from being, I think, on the top tier of players in the league. It's one of the reasons why I thought, like, early in the season, even his being in the Olympics with the World Championship gold medal goal and everything was very much in question, because will they trust him enough? And it turned out that he did get there and performed well, and the rest is history. So, but he is still that. And they're getting by. I don't know. We're just going to have to settle for waiting until, hopefully it's not until the middle of June, when we're getting lockers cleaned out and we hear about a finger or a thumb or a tendon in his wrist or something, that he can still shoot the puck well, but he's having trouble stick handling. There's something about the movement, whatever. Who knows? We're just guessing. You might say the same thing about Tuck, whether there's something that Tuck played a much better game yesterday than he did in Game 3, in my opinion. But they're still not all the way there, I don't think, those two. And I'm gonna expect whenever we get the end of the year that we're gonna hear something about both of those guys.
Well, I mean,
and there'll be a lot of guys around the league. It's the same. It's a very familiar story.
That's right. I don't think it has to be true that Thompson is significantly hurt. I don't think it has to be true. You wonder.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the easiest way to explain the consistent fumbling of the puck.
If they go to overtime tomorrow night, Game 6, Game 7, you have the app on your phone. You might look at it. You got 15 minutes to burn. What looks good? He will be the shortest odds to score the next goal. Both teams, probably.
Him or Caulfield, but yeah.
I mean, who is it right now for tomorrow going to be? It is Caulfield too. Caulfield's now off the mat.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look right now. And it's going to take me a second.
I wonder I'm curious to know this. I've not looked.
They don't have it up yet, maybe.
Yeah.
Do they?
Because I wonder about Boldy.
No, there he is.
Or not Boldy. I was confused. Who's the kid that keeps scoring from Montreal? Newhook. I called him Boldy.
Where'd you get Boldy?
I don't know.
He's on Minnesota.
I know.
Thompson plus 165, Caulfield plus 180, Tuck plus 200. That's tomorrow night. Anytime goal.
Boldy.
So, hey, I think we all know the score. No pun intended on Thompson. I think we all are on the same page here. We know what he's not the best at. We know what he's great at. And what he's great at is something that'll pay you many millions of dollars. And everybody spews it like it is, a cliche worth spewing, that this time of year you need your guys to score.
But they are right now. He is. But they are missing. He is missing. Therefore, the team is missing his ability. And I wonder, like, is Montreal going to defend him? Are they defending him differently? Like, do they think he's not going to try to take me off the dribble? because he cannot maneuver the puck the way he wants to. And if slowly but surely you get to where, tomorrow's game 5, I bet they can go look at every shift that he's played against them. And like, okay, right here he turns away. Okay, he turns away. Okay. And I don't know that it's exactly right, but if it's happening, they will react to it. But they're missing him going to the basket, basically. It's just not – when he has tried to do that in this series, he has absolutely lost control of the puck every time. That's a lot of absolutes there, but that's how it feels to me.
That's close enough.
He tries to go through somebody, it's going to end up in the corner. And that, those are not the highest percentage rushes every time you try them, but you get paid off. I mean, he can make people miss and really undress people. And right now, that just does not seem like it's in his game at all.
All right, fair. Brian Koziel coming up on the Sabres and his picks for the PGA Championship as well. We have to do that. We want to do that, but we also want to make sure you know that the Sabres are the thing. As we spend almost every minute of our shows. I mean, the schedule for the Bills comes out tomorrow in a new stadium. And like, oh, what? It's okay. Tell me what I owe.
Right.
Brian next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
The series is tied 2-2 after the Sabres get a win last night in Montreal, and Game 5 now coming back to Buffalo tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Paul Hamilton does have more on yesterday's win with a piece up at our website, WGR550.com. Tonight, there is just one game. It's out west at 8 o'clock. Colorado hosts Minnesota for Game 5. The Abs can advance to the Western Conference Final with a win this evening. And then some other notes in the NHL. The Maple Leafs are now looking for a new head coach. Craig Berube is fired after 2 years on the job. And Matthew Schaefer of the Islanders was awarded this year's Calder Trophy and did so unanimously. In the NFL, schedule release is tomorrow, but today we got a number of game announcements, mainly international games. Patriots versus Lions in Munich, Germany in Week 10. Colts versus Commanders in London, Week 4. Saints, Steelers, Paris, Week 7. And then Vikings, they're in Mexico City versus San Francisco for Sunday Night Football in Week 11. That is now 9 total international games. And then we also got the announcement of the first ever Thanksgiving Eve game. That is going to be the Packers at the Rams. That game will be on Netflix. And then in baseball, Bison's in action tonight. They're hosting the Woo Sox. That game is just after 6 o'clock, and you can listen over on our sister station, the Bet 1520. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Here's Thompson. He'll fire it in. Got to win this battle along the wall. And that puck. It's a goal. It's a goal. It went in the back of the net. Dobish. It hits the back of Dobish on the shoot-in. And the Sabres have tied the game here. Comes off the glass.
Yeah, right where the Zamboni entrance is. And it hit that glass and came back out and hit Dobish in the right leg and then into the net. Initially, it looked like it fell on the side of the net, but it's not. It's in the net.
Maybe it took us all a minute, but count it. Thompson, a goal and an assist last night in the Sabres' super important Game 4 win in Montreal. Game 5 tomorrow.
I love that we just spent, 7 or 8 minutes of our lives, breaking down his game. What's wrong with him? What is he playing up to snuff? What's missing? Was it goal and assist in a playoff game?
That's it. On the road.
No big deal.
Must win.
Fine,
almost.
Fine.
I'll take it tomorrow. I take 1-1 tomorrow.
Doesn't invalidate anything that I feel I said last segment, but it's a goal and an assist.
It's funny, though. I don't want to cut into Brian's time because it's going to be short, but remember when Dave Andrechuk was a Sabre? These were the conversations. Oh, geez, what? Doesn't do this, doesn't do A, B, and C. Yeah, but he scores 40 goals a year.
Yeah.
Is that worth anything?
I'll tell you, I don't want to speak completely out of school, but I don't think Andrechuk ever had 11 points in 10 playoff games because the book on him was that that disappeared when the playoffs got here. And I say he didn't produce, but he did not produce at no point a game clip in the playoffs. I'm almost sure of that.
Maybe it's a little better than you think.
Yeah, I hope so.
We'll find out. Brian Koziol with us now, pre- and post-game host, Game 5 tomorrow night. I don't know. Do you want to start on Thompson? Brian, do you have a quick take? We don't need to. He wasn't the story of the game or anything. Who was? Maybe Luukkonen probably deserves. Or Benson.
Well, I'm guessing you probably talked about them a lot today, so I'll throw Samuelson in. I was really, really impressed with his game last night. 6 hits, 6 block shots. The block shots last night, unless they changed the stats overnight, it was 27-6 in favor of Buffalo. Now, Montreal had quite a huge margin in shot attempts, so that obviously maybe shows Montreal had some sort of control of the play, but in the fact that Buffalo was able to defend so well, I think that's something that's worth noting. And it wasn't just Samuelson, too. Dahlin had 4, I believe. Timmins had 5. I mean, these guys are laying it on the line there in the third period. But I just thought, if you look at Samuelson, he has the goal. It feels like there's some of these elements of Samuelson now that are just so well-rounded that we have just never gotten previous years. On a night where he, what he score once a year, twice a year, or we'd get him on a night where he'd block a last shot. Last night, he leads the team in block shots. He leads the team in hits. And he chips in with the opening goal of the game. It's just kind of almost ho-hum now for him. It's super impressive how his bar has been raised from previous years.
And that's not even just some floater from the point that bounces in off a couple of defender shin pads or anything. He's joining that rush. He's up there in position. I don't know if he was banging his stick or yelling for the puck, but he was open, presented himself as a great option for Norris. Norris puts it right where it needs to be. And Samuelson, this is funny, the year he's had, right? If he makes that play a year ago, I'm going, well, he just shoveled it at the net and it beat the goalie. He was fortunate to beat the goalie. He's had the year he's had, and he scored the goals he scored. I'm like, he knew what he was doing. He didn't just shovel it. He knew he could beat him to the post, and so he beat him to the post.
Right.
Like that there was more to it than just like, close your eyes and hope kind of thing. A year ago, I would have said that about him. Now I think he's more savvy.
Yeah, every time I've heard him after our post-game shows when Paul's talking to him, usually obviously maybe on a night where he does score, his goal breakdowns sound like a guy that is looking to score. Like, it doesn't sound like a guy that used to score 2 goals a year. I think he's talking about, coming down and looking, and I saw the upper corner, like that's where I was going, or I saw a lane and I jumped in. Even just the fact that he just jumps in, it's routine, just like we're seeing the other 3 top D, they just jump in all the time. Like, we think that's just part of their game with Byram and Dahlin doing it and Power doing it. But the fact that now Samuelsson does it too, I just think that is what makes Buffalo's top 4 so special now, that they're almost all complete packages. I love what you guys said about Power. I think, Mike, maybe you said it toward the beginning of your show today, that I don't think he's getting enough credit. I think these top 4 with the minutes that they log, I just think a big reason why if the Sabres keep going in the playoffs, I think these 4 guys are going to be a big reason why.
In short, perhaps on Samuelsson, it's a real shot. Like when he beats Swayman to win Game 1, he's not just hoping to get the puck through.
Right.
He's picking the corner. So, I'd give him credit for that last night, on his goal last night.
Yep. Luukkonen, Brian.
Luukkonen.
I mean, it was I didn't love the second goal. He was off balance, and that caused his leg to lift up, and it created the hole there. But the 2 saves on Caulfield in the second period on the one-timers were, world class.
I agree. I mean, he played, you're right, other than the 1 goal that I guess if you want to debate whether it was one he should have had or not, I heard you earlier talking about how he went into the post hard. It was a really, really good game for him, obviously. We also maybe have to remember he hadn't played in a game in a while. So even if in the first, if people thought, well, maybe he looked a little flustered or a little out of rhythm, I'd still say, well, he hadn't played in over a week, and you're going into a tough place to play in a pressure spot. And he's probably thinking, if I don't perform well right away here, like this could be it for me in the postseason going the rest of the way. So the fact that he was able to now get himself in that game, and then the second and the third, he got better and better as it went on. Obviously excellent in the third, stopping some premier goal scorers like Caulfield. Now Lindy's got 2 options in net, and going back to the rotation, I think sounds like a good idea. But playing Luukkonen again also sounds like a good idea. I think Lindy's holding all the cards here. I think probably whatever he does, I think, maybe tomorrow after the morning skate, I'll probably be sitting there nodding, saying, yep, Lindy, I shouldn't question your thought here process. This sounds right. And I think he probably doesn't have a wrong decision, I think, with going with either goalie tomorrow.
That's an interesting way to put it. Because if whoever he goes with falters, there'll be a lot of, why didn't you do, the other thing?
Right. So
it's a luxury, but maybe also a curse, I guess, to have this. One of those, if you have 2 starting quarterbacks, you don't have any. Because it's kind of on the coach, whereas with Montreal or Boston, it isn't. It's not going to be Martin St. Louis' fault if Dobish costs some games. Like, it's just, what else was he going to do?
Right.
So that's
but it makes the second guessing probably also easy to argue too, because they are both so good. Like, you could, if he goes with line and he falters, then it'll be easy to say he should have kept with Luukkonen, kept it going. If he stays with Luukkonen and he doesn't go, we could say, well, maybe he should have stuck to the rotation. And, in that sense, I guess I could spin it that no matter what he does, maybe people might argue that it was the wrong decision.
Well, if they lose, it'll be the wrong decision. That's all there is to it. Yeah.
Right.
That's up to us to straighten out, okay?
Right.
That's where people like us are important.
One last thing on them, so we got to get to your PGA picks here. Helenius is the other piece that went in yesterday. And, Brian, I didn't make a note, maybe you did, of exactly how late in the third period, protecting the 1-goal lead, he was out there. But I know it was after that last TV timeout and might have been within the final 2 minutes, which really says a lot.
Yeah, that chance that he had, I think the second one was the one that grazed the post.
Correct.
I remember writing it down on my notes. It was like around 2:40 something left in the game there. So, and then he was still out for a little bit more on that shift. So, yeah, it probably got down to close to 2 minutes before he ended up getting back to the bench. So, yeah, what a move by Lindy. He's been making a lot of good moves this year. And, the The time that you put Ostlund in, he performs. The time you put Hellenius in, he performs. I mean, there's probably a nice discussion to have when this season ends about those two plus the hopeful return of Kulik, and then the debate of, does Alex Tuch, is that, while there's a lot of symbolism in why I would want him re-signed, then you say, well, there's 1, 2, 3 guys right there that maybe could all be a part of an argument to maybe, if you don't want to overpay Tuch, why you could argue against it, even though I feel like symbolically it's really important to bring Tuch back. But there's 3 names right there that maybe none of us started the postseason on their radar with, that you could argue that all of them maybe at some point would be a big part of next year's team.
So I'm a little bit self-conscious here, and please don't take this at all personally. For the next 3 to 4 minutes, we're going to talk about the PGA Championship, and I'm just bracing for the tweets that say, how could you guys be talking about anything else? So anyway, I'm curious for what you're thinking here. I said earlier with this tournament for the Pick 10, if it were I making the picks, I'd be all over the place. I think it's just sort of, I texted you on Sunday, I think there are maybe 30 fun, interesting, plausible ideas here. How do you see it?
I agree. I've told you this is how the bet started. I said the PGA is the hardest one to pick because it's the deepest field. It's got the most top 100 players in the world. And there's not really necessarily even like a course feature. Like we always say, well, at Augusta, it always plays like this. Or the Open, you have to be this kind of style of golfer. Or the U.S. Open, you can't drive it in the rough. Like the PGA kind of varies. Like there's not like, the golf, this type of golfer fits the PGA Championship. So I think it's hard. I went back and forth with these names here, trying to obviously take advantage of our scoring system and things like that. So Scheffler seems like, a guy that would be an obvious pick. Scheffler, McIlroy, Young are the top 3. Cam Young's been playing as good as anybody this year. So I'm actually going to take all 3 just because I couldn't really eliminate one. But then down the line from there, Fitzpatrick's been red hot, and I'll say it's Matt Fitzpatrick.
I was going to say, which one? Yeah, we got to make sure we're clear.
Alex was actually somebody I thought about because he's been playing good, but
plus 10,000.
Yeah, too much. Maybe a side thing on that, but nothing for our 2-win bet here.
Okay.
So Fitzpatrick's my 4th. Fleetwood has been playing great lately. He's 5. I decided to go with Koepka. I played well last week in the second tier PGA Tour event, so I'm going to go with him. Rose and Justin Thomas to kind of round out that middle portion of our picks, and then the 2 of them to pay double. I'm going with Fawn to try to go back-to-back U.S. Opens.
My guy.
And I'm going to go Hatton as well, who played the Masters really well, was right into it. I did look up his live events lately. He's been decently good, competing to win. So my 2 out of the top 20 is Spawn and Hatton.
Good luck, Brian. Not really.
Yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good luck tonight.
By the way, yes. Thank you. Real quick on the course. Only the second time it's ever hosted a major. 1962, Gary Player. Tons of bunkers, over 170 of them.
Too many.
Huge greens. And the 15th hole, I'll leave you with this. It's a par 4. Bulldog, are you getting here in 2? It's a par 4, 546 yards.
Too many bunkers.
That's a lot.
So many bunkers,
Yeah.
really,
That
just
sounds-
showing off.
Yeah,
10 bunkers per hole.
Yeah, 10 a hole. Yeah, I can't live like that.
Ridiculous.
And I'll bet many of them are near the greens.
They should be. They should reduce that.
I
by
appreciate a few words on the course, Brian, because honestly, I asked Mike earlier, "Where is this thing?" And he mentioned it outside Philly, and the name. I'm like, and I'm seeing the name in print now as we're a day before the thing. I'm like, I've never even heard of this place.
They had an LPGA major there a few years
recently,
ago.
I think 2023. They actually, the PGA Tour, when they rotated their playoff events, the BMW Championship, which is one of their playoff events, was there in 2018. But I mean, the only major ever was 1962 when Player won. So it's been a long time. Donald Ross, for those that know course design, a huge restoration. But yeah, big greens, tons of bunkers. Rory said his strategy on every hole, he's just going to hit it as far as he can. He's like, I'll deal with it when I get down to the ball. I thought that was kind of nice.
I like that. I've heard that about this, and I thought that was a reason to pick DeChambeau. But
I know. I think I just don't want to root for him to win.
Yeah.
I think that's why I went away from him.
Respect to that. All right. Thank you, Brian. Good luck tonight in your tennis match.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Sweet home. Brian Koziol will be on, of course, tomorrow night, before and after. take a break. 803-0550 for your calls with you as we continue through the day. Looking forward to tomorrow. There's just not that much time to enjoy last night, right? It's just so fast. Today, you got to just breathe it in, and then tomorrow we'll wake up and, resume panicking. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.
Yeah.
How far away as the crow flies is New York from Boston? Is there any way to find out? Dave Andrechuk.
Yeah. Oh, good. Please set this right if it needs to be set right.
I'm not sure it does. I decided that I think I was more lenient toward Andrechuk as a playoff player because I was a Leaf fan. Because the year the Sabres traded him to Toronto, the Grant Fuhr trade,
he went off.
He scored 12 playoff goals that year, 19 points in 21 games.
Right.
With Gilmore.
Yeah.
And then 10 points the next year. With Buffalo, 54 playoff games over 9 seasons, including the one at the end, toward the end of his career, before Tampa. But 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points in 54 games.
Yeah.
Which is what? 2 points every 3 games. Exactly. And for his career, it's a little less. It's supposed to be harder.
Yeah. But all right, I feel validated though what I said. Like whatever, like we're over here dissecting Thompson, and he's producing, even though we may not like his all-around game. Where Andrechuk, and is right. I'm glad you pushed back at least to want to check and see, because it is the kind of thing that could have gotten way overcooked because of the team's failure. Like he couldn't elevate the team, because guys will get criticized for that too. If they're producing, but the team is still not getting good results, I mean, largely Andrechuk wears that 10-year playoff drought. Like he's here for most of that. And, he never carried them anywhere. So that was, I thought I could have been a little too out of bounds there, but it's about right.
All right.
Yeah.
The Bisons are getting set to start their game, 6:05. It's windy and gray, but not raining, where I'm looking past that drought tree out the reflection there.
The drought
you can play in this. It's not super warm. You can play in this. Dogs get in free. Repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs get in free tonight. Normally you have to pay for. I don't think you can even pay for dogs. They don't even allow it.
Normally it's not allowed.
But it's dog night.
It's dog night. All right.
Not to be confused with last night, which was $2 hot dog night. Did you see the picture of my dog with the teeth?
Yes, I did.
What is up with her? What a personality, this dog. Like I get done with ADP chasing and come upstairs. My wife, first thing, you've got to see this picture of Margot. She's just sitting right in front of her on the couch, and she's sort of like showing her teeth, so to speak.
You know what I thought? I thought she should get one of those Sabre logo teeth like Barnaby used to have.
A gold tooth.
That's right. That's what that picture needed.
Yeah. And like this had to just be like you took a bunch of pictures in a row and you caught her. Like, no, she actually sat there like that.
Right.
With her teeth, like sort of smiling for the camera with teeth.
Yeah.
It looks less of a smile in her case with the teeth showing than without. But that dog, she owns me.
So funny when they do. Sometimes they do stuff that you just. Fred sometimes will just position himself just right on the couch where he's sitting with his 2 legs out and he's got like his front of his front. He looks like he's me sitting in the couch, like ready to have a cigarette or something.
Love it. We'll be right back.
Sabres even up their series against Montreal as they win in Game 4, and now Game 5 coming back to Buffalo. It's tomorrow night at 7. Paul Hamilton has more on yesterday's win up at our website, WGR550.com. In the NHL, though, it's just one game tonight. It's at 8 o'clock. Colorado hosts Minnesota for Game 5. The Abs will advance to the Western Conference Final if they can find a way to win tonight. And then some other notes in the NHL. The Maple Leafs will be in search of a new head coach. The team did announce the firing of Craig Berube after 2 seasons on the job. And then Matthew Schaefer of the Islanders was awarded this year's Calder Trophy and did so unanimously. In the NFL, we are all still eagerly awaiting the release of the schedule for this season. That'll be tomorrow night, but we have been getting breadcrumbs throughout the week. And today, it was predominantly international games. Patriots versus the Lions in Munich, Germany in Week 10. Colts versus Commanders in London in Week 4. Saints taking on the Steelers in Paris in Week 7. And the Vikings, they're in Mexico City versus San Francisco for Sunday Night Football in Week 11. That now makes 9 total international games. And then we also got the first Thanksgiving Eve game. That is Packers at the Rams, and that'll be on Netflix. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Welcome to the Hotel Hell. Check-in time is now, check-out time is never.
It's Mike Schopp.
Does my room have cable?
No. And the sheets are made of fire.
Can I change rooms?
Sorry, we're all booked up. Hell convention in town.
And the Bulldog.
Can I have a late checkout?
I'll have to talk to the manager.
You're not the manager, even in your own fantasy?
I'm the owner. The co-owner. With Satan.
It's Mike Schopp.
Okay. Just so I understand it, in your wildest fantasy, you are in hell, and you are co-running a bed and breakfast with the devil.
And the Bulldog.
Yeah, but I haven't told you my salary yet.
Go.
$80,000 a year.
On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
I don't want to talk about this, right? Not right now. I don't need to.
I don't think we want to do that. No.
Dig on the Sabres right now. I mean, what's the word I want? I don't want to rag on them right now for a thing that I just learned.
No.
Not right now.
What? Are we? We're sure. We're sure. Yeah.
We're sure.
We're sure.
It's don't worry, anyone. It's not related to the team.
No. Yeah. There's no
There's no injury.
There's no. It's not. No.
Just a thing.
Just a thing that doesn't need to be said right now, if ever.
Just a thing I've kind of complained about passive-aggressively forever has just gotten way worse because of all the surge in popularity.
Yeah, I guess that's what.
And you can maybe guess at that, but
anyway.
That doesn't need to be elaborated on.
We're riding high. Game 5 tomorrow, and I do feel like, I think we've been doing this a long time together. I feel like maybe for 10 years, occasionally I would sort of reflect, I learned something today. And I don't know, I don't want to cop to not thinking like that anymore. But I feel like today I walked in here, one of the first things I said to you was the observation that I heard from the morning show, which was through the WBEN morning show, about the goalie rust. And how every game they've won so far during these playoffs, during these 2 series, the goalie who was in goal for the game had more than 1 day off between games.
Something I had not thought of.
And I don't think I would have thought of it. Brian Mazurowski, I think, tweeted it, and that's how the morning show got to it. And I don't think they talked about it all day or anything, but it came up and it piqued my interest. And I thought, okay, and you've been nice enough to point out how I was on the right track when Lyon needed to go in. Now, when Luukkonen needed to go in, I was right. I think that I would do it. I think it makes sense.
You called Lindy's move both times.
Okay. So I came in here today with, they could just go back to alternating. Luukkonen was awesome last night, and I didn't like one of the goals, but whatever. He was great, right? He was fantastic. Those saves on Caulfield. But they could just say, you know what? We realized days off here have impacted their performance. Small sample size. We're talking about 10 games over the course of, what are we, not even 3 weeks in here. But still, maybe they'll go back to it. And I feel like talking it through, the one guy who called and said, well, if you're really going to be loyal to that, what you're doing is then you're declaring that Lyon is your guy for Game 7. Like almost no matter what. Like, yeah, it's kind of right. And are they going to do that? No, they're not going to do that.
They don't have to do that at all.
Which to me means they'll go. Luukkonen played great last night. He hadn't played in a few weeks. He'll go back in tomorrow. and then if he stumbles, then we maybe have a discussion about Lyon for Game 6 and 7. But I guess I come away from today having learned that I thought I was open-minded about maybe going back to Lyon, but probably not. I think I've shut it down. I think I wanted like 10 or 20% chance, and now I'm at like 0.5. So anyway.
Two things. Luukkonen last started a game before last night, I believe, on April 21st. That's Tuesday, April 21st.
Mm-hmm.
1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah.
3 weeks between starts. He doesn't need another off day. Like, I don't think there's any risk of Luukkonen being wiped. So I appreciate this point, but I can't believe for a second it's guiding the Sabres here. Like, just, there's that. The other is, you know who Daryl Morey is?
Sure.
He was fired yesterday. He was fired by the 76ers. This guy has been an NBA executive for a long time. He got credited/blamed with certain analytics viewpoints, the Rockets, the Sixers. I've always been a fan because I love a guy that is sort of not only data-driven in his decisions, but also contrarian. Like, that's something that the establishment wasn't used to or isn't still. So Daryl Morey. And I was watching a Le Batard clip today where they were talking about him. Le Batard, who always asks such interesting, probing questions of, his guys. Like, what's his legacy? And I predicted that I don't know anybody's name except Le Batard on that show, but I predicted this. All right, this is going to be, I see it on Twitter. It's going to be a minute and a half. Somebody's going to say, smartest guy in the room, which is never meant as a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why not, but it's never meant as a compliment. Remember Buddy Nix bragging about how he wasn't ever the smartest guy in the room? Like, why would you want anybody to know that? Maybe it's okay if you literally are the smartest guy in the room. You don't have to act like it, but it's okay if somebody is.
That's where the criticism comes from, is if you are perceived as being the smartest guy in the room, you've let everyone know it because you think you're the smartest guy in the room.
But that's usually, it's not because you're ever saying that about yourself. It's other people's judgment of you. So anyway, yeah, here it comes. Minute into the clip, somebody's like, I think it's that he felt he was the smartest guy in the room. Like, if you're Daryl Morey, maybe just roll your eyes. Okay. I mean, nobody's beyond reproach. If Ruff takes Luukkonen out tomorrow and they lose, what does Sportsnet say? He thought he was the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
He's smarter than everybody else because he couldn't just play a winning goalie. He had to go back to the other guy who gave up 11 goals in 2 games. And I don't know. You would have to be – this is also back, I'll say, in the Boston series going into Game 4 where I thought it was worth talking about playing Luukkonen in Boston after Lyon had won Game 3 because don't you want to be true to what you've done here? And if they do that and they lose that game, everybody crushes him. He thought he was the smartest guy. That's the line.
Yeah.
And so that is waiting for Lindy Ruff if he were to dare to switch goalies now. Again, I just think that's a certain level of risk that anybody would love to avoid if they can. That doesn't make one or the other the right call. It actually has nothing to do with that.
Right.
The point about Lyon here is, he's had a chance to decompress, and he won, 4 out of 5 before Game 2 of this series. Like, there are good logical reasons for playing him, but damn if you do it. And if you go if you go as far as to commit to a rotation, smartest guy in the room tag is waiting for you upon any loss.
Right.
Any loss.
That's right.
Because you're doing it after a win necessarily.
That's right.
I mean, now we're down to a best of 3.
Yeah, it's more than any coach really. I wouldn't want. We have said this for years about NFL coaches, right? Like, what are they trying to do? You know, a lot of the appeal of the fourth down stuff and even the kickoff rules being tweaked is that you're forcing coaches to make decisions. Mm-hmm. And if you have to make decisions, we get to judge you on those decisions. And there it is. We might reach a conclusion about you, rightly or wrongly, sooner than otherwise. The more decisions that get put into the hopper that we are grading you on. So, yeah, this is a test Ruff does not need to give himself because it's absolutely right. Like, if Luukkonen stays in and an egg is laid tomorrow,
it's not Lindy's fault.
You just shrug your shoulders and move on and hope for better with the other guy in Game 6, right? But if you switch and that guy lays an egg, the entire news conference is about the decision, the process, what were the clues, what went into it, was it analytics driven, about rest, whatever it is.
Correct.
It's just going to be all of that, and nobody needs that.
That's right.
So the path of least resistance for sure is, did you see that guy play the other night? Yeah, he's playing tomorrow.
Yeah, Lindy's been able to get to this point with different goalies starting games, and nothing has ever really been controversial about it. Putting Lyon in was not controversial. Putting Luukkonen in last night was not controversial. It was all sort of like kind of the book play. So that's nice for a coach when they don't have to go against the grain on a move. Grady Little. Too soon?
No, I'm good.
How does all this apply to Grady Little in 2004, leaving Pedro in?
2003.
2003, thank you. Correct.
I believe they won the World Series.
Yes, they did. Yes, and I love that it's called the World Series because they had to beat a team from Panama in the. No, I just got a little bit defensive there. How does all of this apply to Grady Little? What was the easier move? Leaving Pedro in or taking him out? Leaving him in.
Leaving him in is easier.
Which is what he did.
He's my guy. He's my ace.
Hey.
Right.
But he got blamed for it. He got fired.
Right.
And it was Pedro Martinez in Yankee Stadium in the most intense environment there could be with runners on. And he decided instead of going to
the bullpen,
John McEntee in the bullpen, he left Pedro Martinez, a Hall of Fame pitcher, in the game. And he got crushed because Posada singled to center.
It wasn't even like
it was like a flare
either.
Exactly. No, you're right. I don't know what year it was, but or any Boston relief pitcher's name.
You can still see the hit. Yeah,
I can see the hit.
Yeah.
And he was destroyed for it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It would have been brave to take him out, and that guy could have given up a hit too. I didn't need to go there, did I?
Well,
it's an easy example of.
It's fine. I'm not bristling because they won 4 World Series since then, and I don't even barely care anymore.
Is it really 4?
It's 4, yeah.
They beat the Cardinals.
Cardinals in 04, the Rockies in 07.
The Rockies.
And 13 and 18.
Cardinals again?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Or they lost to the Dodgers.
This is embarrassing. I'm not sure who the other 2 World Series wins are against. I'm not being cute. I know they beat Houston in the ALCS, I think in 18.
Didn't they cheat though?
They both cheated.
Oh.
Yeah.
2013, they beat St. Louis. So it's 2 against St. Louis.
And then 18 is who?
LA.
Okay. Nice.
With Betts.
Nice for them.
And then Betts went to the Dodgers.
Right.
They're bad now?
The Dodgers?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Ohtani's not hitting. They're sitting him tonight and tomorrow.
Is that going to last though? They'll be fine.
Probably.
Right? Yeah.
They'll probably be fine, but he's not hitting. I have Yamamoto in fantasy. He got beat again last night. The Giants are taking it to the Dodgers.
Has anyone considered whether there's gambling implications?
No.
Okay.
That has not come up.
Here's a little something for you. You're going to love the way this is worded. But I want to mention it because it is. We'll brag a little here. Second round, Game 3, most viewed on record. All right. So the most viewership there's ever been for a Game 3 of the second round.
All right.
In NHL history, Sunday night, Game 3, Montreal Buffalo. 2.1 million viewers. 86%. This is the part that I really like. 86% more than second round game 3s last year.
Who is reporting this? ESPN?
Yes.
Because it was their game?
Yes. ESPN PR.
Wasn't even a close game.
Was letting us know. Like 86%
higher
audience increase.
Versus last year.
Versus last year's game 3, round 2.
Whoever played.
It didn't say what it was the same conference or whatever, but
might have been a day game.
I don't know. But I mean, I'm always here to say yes, the rating, the percentage of households is high, but we don't have that many people, so it's not how impactful can that really be. 86% more viewers. It's still only 2.1 million people, which is makes you wonder like who's keeping the lights on last year when significantly fewer people were watching these playoff games, but pretty nice. Like the same, we know and it's not just people here; it's people all over the place. Looking at this team in this series, it's a hot series. It's the most competitive. Well, yeah, the Vegas thing is 3-2 now.
One's over. One's on at midnight, and the other one has Minnesota in it. Think about it. This one is easily the best.
You're talking about Minnesota like they're Nashville this year. They're excellent. I love watching them play.
Sometimes Nashville's excellent.
But they're in real trouble.
I don't care, though.
Yeah.
I'm never turning their game on.
With Quinn, yeah. See, they've won me over. Why am I mentioning Boldy? Because I like Boldy a lot. There's no reason to confuse him with Newhook, but, although they go to BC together.
I'm a snob.
With Hughes there, they've won me over. I really like Minnesota.
Look at these uniforms in this series of ours.
Well, there is that. And last night had the atrocious Anaheim-Vegas in Vegas matchup.
Unwatchable.
Again. Orange pants, orange helmets, orange gloves.
Unwatchable.
Against like mustard yellow, spongy looking crap.
Cannot even stand to look at it.
Very bad.
Avs Wild is the same.
It's
to
very
me.
tough, yes.
One's over, and that was awful too.
Yeah.
And then you have these guys. It's easily the best.
We are owning the uniform thing.
Any hockey fan of a certain age could not deny that. And Buffalo's a cool story. They're not all household names, but it's a cool story that you know about if you follow the NHL at all. That the Sabres had been out of the playoffs 14 years in a row, and now this. That's very relatable and fun. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm watching these games. Even if last night I had to watch 2 periods on my phone.
You're still there.
I mean, I was
count.
very distracted by it. I just had a job to do over here, and I was looking over there and trying to not take hints from Jacob about what was happening in the hockey game, trying to keep in the conversation, but also see for myself what was happening. And then as soon as it was over, I sprinted upstairs and joined the fam. Gotta say this. It is going to be New England at Seattle opening night. Bulldog wins again. I hate it. I think that is a terrible game, just like the Super Bowl was. I loved the Bears there. I thought the Bears were perfect. I'd love to know if the Bears had any sort of right of first refusal. And just,
that's how we ended up here.
I'm dying hard on this. I can't believe it.
No,
it is a Super Bowl rematch. I have to acknowledge, but man, it couldn't have been a worse game. And now they just want to run that back. Like you were on it, and respect. You always get these right. I love to play and lose, I guess, but you always get these right.
How about always? I got the Jets opener with Rodgers that one year, but I don't know about always. Rams. I thought the Bills would be the Rams.
Yeah, I think of it as usually.
I'm on a little. Yeah, I guess I am on a little bit of a heater maybe with it.
I am kind of an altruist or something. I'm going for the best. Maybe you think you are too, and that's fine. That's fair. I feel like I'm going for the best matchups with a cap on it that isn't just like Chiefs-Bills was never going to be week 1. It's just too good for the middle of the season. I don't know. Maybe Fox has to have Chicago on week 1.
Maybe your logic there is you should have applied it. You don't think it's a good matchup. So the network doesn't want to save it for the middle of the season because they're saying, all right, they're going to sell. But if they don't trust New England for some reason, get them out of the way right away. I thought the best case against them being in the opener was the Vrabel point that you made. So that was the only thing that really slowed me down on it. And it did slow me down considerably. I thought, like, you know what? That makes sense. They might not want to be, like, highlighting them right away because, you know, we're going to be waiting to be, how are you going to address this? Will you address it? Will you address it to our liking? And all of that is going to be on the table now.
So that means the Bills will not play New England in week 1. We know they're going on the road. My guess is Minnesota. I think Miami's also like second, but I'm never right at these. Just at least I'm not tired, but I feel like I'm never right at these. We'll find out tomorrow around now probably. The Bills will not play the Jets or Dolphins in week 7 either. They'll play each other.
Nor
the
the Jets in week 1 because it has to be a road game and the Giants are home week 1, so the Jets can't be.
Right.
Which you've reminded me of a couple times because I kind of like the Jets for the opener, but now that's gone.
I just feel like they wouldn't put the Bills in the late window on the road, and those games are travel, like Houston, Vegas, Denver.
Yeah, and they are playing Thursday, week 2. We
That's
know
why.
that already, right? So they don't want to. I agree. I think they would 1 o'clock Sunday is where they're probably going to end up.
Which for me means the Dolphins or the Vikings. I don't think Green Bay. I think Green Bay's too good for that. So. Minnesota. I love the idea. I like Minnesota, week 1. See, I'm back. Minnesota, you're telling me how I'm down on Minnesota. I'm right back into Minnesota. That quickly. All in one segment. I went to college for this. Bills at Vikings, week 1. I'm rooting for it.
All right.
I think that'll be a fun one to talk about. Minnesota. Some new parts.
Just because you're picking Minnesota to be that game, I will pick Miami.
Okay. Kyler Murray. Before he comes out.
Right.
They say they're having a competition. That'll be fun to talk about for 3 months.
Sure. Yeah, can't wait.
Are we getting Murray or McCarthy? We don't know that this is the game yet, but I'm rooting for it. I think it has a good chance of being right. Who's always right? Paul Hamilton. It's because he doesn't make predictions. Only retrospect. Paul's chat with us from earlier next on WGR.